Line up, you f***ing nerds. Who wants a shot at the champ?
They bring the heat.
Francis Ngannou is the hardest puncher in the history of fighting.
They bring the knowledge.
If you think this fight is going 5 rounds, you are out of your mind.
They bring you the picks.
The dog is getting it done in this one.
We deliver every single week. We're bringing the heat, ladies and gentlemen.
The money line.
Don't miss it on the MMA Experts channel each week. The Money Line. We are live on a beautiful Monday, talking some UFC Qatar. Big fight card this weekend. Nice fight night. First ever event in Qatar. Tsarukyan coming back, taking on Dan Hooker, who's returning. It's a great night, Mike Finch. How you been, bro?
I'm good, buddy. Running around Arizona all week, you know, had a good week. I mean, a busy week, you know, hanging out with mom, hanging out with grandpa. He's up in Scottsdale. I didn't quite realize how dope downtown Scottsdale is. Have you ever been?
I have not been. Tell me.
Pretty fire, bro. Just so walkable, like so many different bars, Dirty Dogs, where these girls are on the tables with the hula hoops going off. I mean, just so many just cool, like unique one of one spots. Man, I had a good time.
I like it, bro. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself over in Arizona. Of course,
I enjoyed watching all the UFC fights. You know, I was driving through some crazy storm. Anybody who else lives in Southern California knows the fucking weekend we just had. Southern California, best weather on earth, okay? But this fucking storm, bro, I had to drive through this thing with my pregnant wife in the passenger seat. I'm driving like a little old lady with my fucking head right by the windshield and shit. We made it back in one piece, but I did not see the event live. So I had to watch all those fights today, which was fun.
Listen, you got a little late rewatch, but I hope you still enjoyed some of the beautiful events that took place. There was a lot of fun fights. We'll recap some of the major stuff that went down before we get into this coming week's picks. In the main event of the evening, Islam Makhachev secured his greatness, becoming a 2-weight UFC welterweight champ. Handled Jack Della Maddalena dominant fashion, 5-0. Was reminiscent of the Duplessis versus Hamzat fight, but actually I think it was more dominant. Islam's striking looked good. Jack Della couldn't do anything. He got his leg chopped apart early. He was grimacing in pain from bottom position for a majority of the fight. And Islam really showed me at 170, this is the true pinnacle of what he can do. At 155, we saw him fatigue late in certain fights, and there were some testy moments. But at 170 pounds, the gas tank, I mean, granted, it's not like he was necessarily pushed here, but it looked incredible. He went out there and shut down a high-level boxer in Jack Della, destroyed his calf, took him down with ease, controlled him from top position, embraced the grind to a win. Jack Della's submission defense deserves a lot of respect. Most guys are getting tapped out by Islam Makhachev, but Jack Della was able to stop things coming his way. So I can definitely see the Craig Jones system worked on the defensive side, but not any offense, not any successful moments to get back up to his feet, really. And he was completely shut down. What'd you make of this main event, Mike?
The Craig Jones system got him out of that Darce choke. I mean, he was in a deep Darce choke, and pretty much any lightweight was tapping into that. Jack Della did a good job flaring the elbow, clearing the artery, getting out of that like an expert. But everything else, brother, I mean, we gotta call, you know, Jack Della Maddalena is the one in there with Islam Makhachev. So you got to say, hey, respect. He's out there fighting the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. You got to respect it. Dricus du Plessis against Hamzat, Jack Della Maddalena against Islam. These guys are not fighting their best fights. They're out there a little hesitant. They're out there not pulling the trigger until the 5th round. You know, Dricus du Plessis takes Hamzat's back in the 5th round. In the 5th round, Jack Della goes out there, starts letting his hands go a little bit, and then gets taken down immediately. There were questions, right? Some of the questions were like, what would Islam Makhachev perform like at 170? Would the extra muscle slow him down? He looked fantastic. It helped him. You know, those weight cuts were hard on his cardio. So that, like, the question is like, can his heart pump blood to that muscle? Honestly, he didn't put on too much muscle. You know, the video of him fucking squatting as much as he possibly could. Clearly, he was not doing 1-rep maxes every day. He was doing the normal Khabib Nurmagomedov, AKA training that got him the lightweight world title, which is the deepest division. So moving up to 170, he looks better. He looked really good. He looked really patient on the feet and just his advanced basics. He is the best at just the basics. It might be more beautiful to watch Ilia Topuria, but let's be honest. Ilia Topuria ain't doing shit to Islam Makhachev, especially at 170. He's getting his ass taken down too. Islam Makhachev's the best fighter in the world, and he was able to pin Jack Della Maddalena. There were moments where Jack Della was starting to get like an octopus guard. You know, I'm sure many people aren't too familiar with it if you don't like pro jiu-jitsu. But what the system would be is clearing the arm from the back, kind of getting some head height, and then essentially, like just like the instructionals called, just stand up, just standing up. He was getting shut down by a crossface really well from Islam, and he wasn't really able to get past step 2 or 3 to continue his stand-ups. And he decided not to waste a lot of energy. I think that's why the fight went 25 minutes, and that's probably why the fight was a little boring. AJ, look at the first takedown. You know, Islam hikes that knee up there, and what does Jack Della do? Waits. It's like, Jack, we need to kick out like Leon Edwards. We need to, you know, kick down donkey kick style. We need to jack up this, this whizzer kick, or at least jack up the overhook to get out and push the head away. There are many escapes. He didn't do any of them, you know, and these guys continually make the best fighters in the world freeze up. 18 fight win streak snapped. The credit belongs to Islam Makhachev, and Islam Makhachev fought a flawless fight.
It was flawless, spectacular, complete domination. And he showed me that at 170, he's not to be doubted. Louis Boy, thank you for 199. Waiting all day for this. Finch still loves Wang. Thank you for 199, bro. And Louis Boy's an OG, man.
Finch loves Wei Lee too. It was a tough card for Finch. I'm lucky I didn't have any alcohol nearby. Jesus Christ.
Holy
Louis
shit.
Boy. You know, I'm not on the side of street as Michael Morales. You know, I don't swing that way.
PDX Hoya, thank you for $99.99. Mr. Companion, want to say the Monday and Propaholics picks were on point. We don't bet against Valentina though. Valid. Thank you for $99.99, my brother. Happy to see you back. I noticed your absence in the Fight Companion. We were wondering, Dan, where's the Savage PDX at? I'm glad to see you here. Thank you for the $100, bro. Still some great picks, you know.
PDX Hoya, very, very generous. Seriously appreciated. Yeah, man. Valentina looked great. We'll get to it in a second, PDX.
Yeah.
The 99 is extremely generous, PDX. Thank you.
Yeah, big W. I want to talk about what's next, though. So Ian Garry this weekend and Bilal fight. Obviously, for Ian Garry, if he pulls through, he's in the running for a title fight. We saw Michael Morales look good on this card. You know, I think elephant in the room is the Kamaru Usman fight. I know Ali is all over it. Why is Ali Abdelaziz so excited? He represents both guys. The check he's getting cut for a mega fight like that, my God, I could imagine it's a life-changing paycheck for him too. So, of course, he wants to see it. It'd be cool for Islam versus Usman more to get the legacy name, but, you know, Kamaru Usman's 1-2 in his last 3 fights. He lost back-to-back fights against Leon Edwards, which hasn't aged well, seeing how Leon has looked right now. What do you do with Islam Makhachev? What's the Finchman's take on what's next? Obviously, Topuria is a possibility. Maybe he defends the belt and then moves up to 170. What do you like?
Topuria is the biggest fight they could make, you know, but he's up at 170. Like, Topuria is just going to keep rising. He's so much bigger than Topuria. I think this really cemented that. You know, there was definitely some question about it at 55, but bro, 170 Islam, he added a little bit to that back. You saw those fucking lats on him. I just feel like, you know, he gets a hold of you and it's like a Hummer's parked on top of your chest. I don't see anybody getting out from underneath that Cybertruck. So, what is next for him? I think the toughest fight is Shavkat. The toughest fight is Shavkat. I know it doesn't have all the bells and whistles on it because Shavkat's been out a little injured against Ian Garry, and but stylistically, the toughest fight is Shavkat Rakhmonov. You know, the other guys in the division would be Bilal, who's his brother, or as Dana White would say, the Muslim brother. You know, Muslim Brotherhood. You heard Dana White. He's like, the whole fucking Muslim Brotherhood jumped Dylan Dennis.
That was great.
And then, you've got Kamaru Usman, Ian Gary, Michael Morales, Carlos Prates in the mix. I think my buddy Kevin actually said it best. He's like, when you're looking at Islam Makhachev's record, are you really going to see a Carlos Prates victory and be like, that cements him? That cements him as the GOAT. No, Kamaru Usman's name matters more on that record. So I do understand it, but AJ's point is valid. Regardless if he comes in on short notice to save the day or whatever, all he's got is the Joaquin Buckley win as of late. It's not a great title shot, especially because Islam just came from lightweight where you have to pay a politician to get a fucking title shot, So it's a problem, actually.
Yeah, we're in an interesting log jam at the top. Obviously, if Shavkat hadn't been dealt the unfortunate hand of injuries and whatnot, we may have seen him win the belt already, and we would have had a whole different MMA multiverse at the top. I think Shavkat's going to need one more. I think as good as he is to jump right into the title shot, I don't know. I think even though Ian Gary has that Shavkat loss, if he goes out and looks good against Bilal, there's a lot of hype around Ian Gary versus Islam Makhachev. A battle of Dagestan versus Ireland part 2 would be interesting as well. I think there's a needle moving element to it. And I like the stylistic matchup. Obviously, we got to see Ian Gary get past a very legit former world champ and a hungry Bilal Muhammad. But if he does, that matchup intrigues me a lot. And it's a cool matchup for Islam fighting a guy with that much length, right? 6'3", long, up and coming. Like, it's a lot of things to like. Definitely better footwork than Jack Della. Maybe not as much punch power, but better kicks, better from distance. The first 3 rounds against Prates, I mean, he looked fucking incredible. So I don't know, man. Ian Gary is potentially on the cusp of title contention, but there is that element of the Usman legacy. We've seen the UFC matchmake like this before. We've seen guys like, Jose Aldo having losses, but still getting a title shot, or even Frankie Edgar losing.
Kamaru could be in that conversation, Yeah,
it's one of those, like, we could
based
see it
on
like
the body of work.
Right. Even though losses have been there, there's a possibility that Kamaru Usman's given the shot. Though, resume wise of what you've done for me lately, I don't think a Buckley win should get you a title fight. I think a Bilal win gets you a title fight. And that's why I think Ian Gary would be most deserving. And then Shavkat versus maybe a Morales or a Prates would be up next.
It depends on how it happens, AJ, right? If Ian Gary does a wheel kick KO to Bilal Muhammad, then we're running it, But if it's a split decision and he gets taken down 5 times, you start to think the Kamaru Usman fight's a better fight. And not like I want to give another dub to Ali Abdelaziz, but goddamn, I mean, the guy's team just keeps fucking winning. I mean, how lucky can a guy get? Goddamn. Wow. I went over to the UFC PI and Patchy Mix goes, "Hey, this is my friend Mike Finch. He worked for Bellator. He's going to jump in with us for practice, And Ali didn't say shit to me, He doesn't invite me in or nothing. He doesn't say shit. I just go and I just got right into, I didn't ask permission. I just got right into practice. And Ali didn't kick me out. That was cool. But I don't know. He's like, I asked Ali Abdelaziz once, I wanted Mike Tyson to come to UFC Gym Huntington Beach. And so I'm texting Ali and I'm like, hey, we got, should I say how much? Who gives a fuck, right? We got $3,000. I'm like, we got $3,000. We would love to pay him. Mike Tyson lives in Newport. It's a fucking 10-minute drive. He trains at King's MMA right over here with Rafael Cordero. Rafael usually goes to him. Anyway, he could drive 10, 15 minutes. He's got a driver, $3,000. I figured it was. Ali asked for $50K, bro. Ali's like, yeah, $50,000. I'm like, what 50. The fuck,
3 to 50 is like, we're not even in the same ballpark.
Just tell me to go fuck myself. You know what I mean? Just tell me to go fuck myself if that's how you feel. So not like I need another dub for Ali Abdelaziz, but honestly, Kamaru Usman versus Islam Makhachev, I'm down.
Yeah, no, definitely. We'll talk about what's next for Jack Della after we run through some of these welterweight fights, because I have an idea for a fight of a fighter on this card. So I want to wait before we get there. Let's jump through to the co-main. Islam dominant here. Valentina dominant in the co-main. It was dominant, but it was a little bit on the slow side. Weili Zhang seemed to be in her head I have to tell you, my girlfriend watched the full card too, and she's what's up? What's up? Oh, is this the text?
500 grand. I fucked it up.
500 grand?
500 grand.
Oh, Jesus.
I said,
And then you got blocked.
Ali goes, how did you get my number? He goes, 500K. I said, we got to start making that Ali money. Anyway.
You got blocked after I see green.
500. Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
Blacklisted.
Anyway,
I wanted to check it because after I said 50, I'm like, was it more? It was 500. How dare he? Go on.
Come on. So, and it was funny, her take. She's like, wow, you could tell Wei Li was just in her head off of the first round. And I was in complete agreement with that take because I felt like Wei Li just was intimidated almost after the early moments of round one, after getting kneed hard to the body. It's like, she's like, I don't know how to approach Valentina. She didn't have confidence really in closing the distance. She couldn't find shots on the inside. She was getting bullied in the wrestling exchanges. I mean, I have never seen Weili Zhang look so weak. I mean, she got thrown around. She looked like Valentina's little sister. She got her ass kicked in this fight. It was one of those fights where I'm like, okay, Weili, get the fuck back to 115. Like the 125 thing ain't happening.
It did not work for her.
Oh my God.
Islam Makhachev, it did not work for Weili. AJ, can you help me with this? What was this?
Yeah.
She would just throw her arms out. She didn't want to hit anything. She
it was in her head.
Throwing
she was in her, she didn't know what to do. She was like, let me just try. Like, let me try to create some rhythm. I don't know, dance a little bit. I don't know. It was crazy.
Yeah, she got dominated, brother. A lot of respect belongs to the champ. They're both champs, but to Valentina Shevchenko, her patience was excellent. Her body lock takedowns were excellent.
Yes.
You know, Weili's got a nice butterfly guard that she used a couple times, but the striking she could not get going at all on Valentina Shevchenko. And normally Weili is really good, just like GSP was really good at shoot boxing. Like, is she going to shoot? Is she going to punch or kick? And the mixing of the two, she's actually excellent at. You know, you've seen like Dominic Cruz hit moments like this where the shot comes off of the strike so beautifully. George St. Pierre made a fucking career out of it. Weili has done it really, really well, has been really impressive at it. Where was it? She could not get Valentina Shevchenko to back up at all. You know, she would approach Valentina, and Valentina just stayed real patient, real switched on. You could always see like Valentina's just like like ready to uncork something. She looks like, you know, before you jump onto a box, you got to bend your knees, and then you got to go up on that plyometrics box. She's always kind of got those knees bent, like she's about to pop something off. And Weili just couldn't quite. She was just like throwing her limbs out there, like, can I get a moment? Am I gonna find something? She never found it. The moment never came because she's dealing with a girl who's not gonna gas out like Tatiana Suarez. Sorry, Tatiana. Not going to, you know, make stupid mistakes. Valentina Shevchenko is a pro's pro, and she was able to pin Weili.
It was the definition of dominance. She completely shut down Weili Zhang to a 50-45, a lopsided decision. And Shevchenko's, you know, era of greatness definitely continues to grow after taking on another great in Weili. I really have to say I'm not crazy about her fighting Kayla Harrison at 135. I know that's kind of in the what ifs. Kayla called her out. I like the Natalia Silva fight. I want to see the proper top contender get her chance against Valentina Shevchenko. I'm more interested in seeing if Valentina can pass the Natalia Silva puzzle, which so far has looked incredibly good. I mean, Natalia's got the speed. Natalia's got the size. Natalia is one that can make it a fight. And I need to see that before this potential Kayla Harrison fight. I don't think we should reward this 135-pound division, which is kind of a dead weight class at the moment, with Valentina going up when there's such a good matchup right in our face at 125. Instead, Amanda Nunes said, hey, I'm doing it. I'm coming back. Now she's pulling back on the plans. Well, let's figure something out then, because I don't want to see Shevchenko versus Kayla Harrison next. Not that Shevchenko would have no chance, but Kayla's a lot bigger than her. Kayla has strong grappling. It would be a similar scenario to, like, you know, Weili Zhang's size disadvantage here with Shevchenko. Obviously, Shevchenko at one point fought at 135, but Kayla I don't know how she makes the weight class. I mean, she's 135 pounds for 30 seconds. And then next thing you know, it's probably up at 160 on fight night. So for me, I'm just not crazy about that being the next fight. If she goes out and takes out Natalia Silva, and then we're in kind of an undeniable situation, sure, we can consider that. But just because of the lack of valuable contenders at a weight class, I don't think it's worthy to sacrifice then going up and creating something. I don't need to have the damn, flyweight division held up by it, or potentially then what? Yeah. Valentina's gonna have to vacate the flyweight belt, go up, and then we're gonna have Natalia Silva, Menifield for an interim, or rather for a vacant title. Then let's say Checo loses, goes back. It's just not right now. I want to see this damn Natalia Silva fight.
Yeah, let the divisions play out. I would agree with you. And Weili's got to go back down to her division. And Weili versus Mackenzie Dern is fun, And so, by the way, is Fatima Klein, versus any of these girls. She looked good, and she'll give Mackenzie Dern a run for her money. I was asked today, who would win, Weili or Menifield? I'm like, bro, after seeing that, Weili really does need to stay down in her weight class and just get back to doing what she's doing. The girls' weight classes actually have some fucking contenders. You got, Mackenzie Dern, Tatiana Suarez, Weili. You've got, I just said Fatima Klein, and then,
Alexia Fayanara, who's bursting on the scene,
who looked great, great, absolutely. Let's let these contenders come up, and I think they got a good 2026 ahead of them in the ladies divisions. Nobody needs to change weight class.
Agreed. Sadier, thank you for 2 months of membership. Oh my God, Prates is so good. I would let him knock me out. I wouldn't, but hey, if that's what you're into, my brother.
yo, I think they call that a sub, right? Prates
I think so.
And he's a sub.
All right. Hey, thank you for 2 months, my brother. Hey, let's get down the card and let's talk the absolute masterpiece of a performance from Michael Morales, who made it look easy against Sean Brady. I predicted the knockout here. I went Morales. I thought he'd get it. Sean Brady's striking, bro. Fuck. He's just not high level in the stand-up. And if he can't get you down, a guy like Michael Morales is going to make it look easy. Morales destroyed him. Was there a takedown shot from Sean Brady? He couldn't do anything. I like how Morales kind of has that hips back stance. It's an interesting style that he has.
Stays heavy on the lead foot.
Bro, somebody got to chop that leg, though.
Kick that calf.
Kick the fuck out of it.
Sean
Brady not the guy for it, though, Mike. Sean Brady not the guy for it. Sean Brady is a high-level grappler. He's awesome on the ground. And Michael Morales destroys him in one round. And I think Michael Morales is in a position where we could see him in that title picture. I mean, I'm thinking about it right now. Michael Morales versus Islam Makhachev could be really interesting with the size that Morales has and the hand speed and power. Now, I'm not going out and saying I'd go and pick Morales for sure. I think he probably needs one more. But I do like that there's a 26-year-old kid who's undefeated in the running for a title shot that seems to have the gift of power and hand speed, who has some real freaky size. Michael Morales is one of the more special talents we've seen in a long time. And I definitely think that he is on the cusp of world title contention. I do feel as though Shavkat, upon his return, could end up being a fight for Morales. There's definitely going to be options for him. I don't know for sure if the Shavkat fight is next, but, a battle of undefeated welterweights for the number one contender spot would be pretty cool. But, it remains to be seen, obviously. Morales versus Prates, people have proposed. There's thoughts there.
The only way Brady was going to do any work in this fight was from the top position. He was an absolute sitting duck, trying to approach Morales, who's just so much bigger, bro. Explosive. He's got rocks in his hands. He's just holding them, ready just to send one through your dome. And he's a good wrestler too. But could I put on the hater hat, bro? I gotta put on the hater hat, dog. Hold up. Boom. Trash footwork. I mean, people are saying, oh, Morales, he should get the title shot against Islam Makhachev. He's going to be, I mean, I've been seeing some goofy shit about Michael Morales. Guys, watch his fucking lead foot. He's walking like he's walking to the fucking park. He's going heel toe. You walk into any boxing gym, go into Wild Card, and fucking go walk at some of the pros like that. They're going to pivot around your foot and just jab the shit out of you. He needs to get into a stance. AJ's like, I like his stance. Yeah, but his mobility's trash. I
get it.
praise his stance when he can't move well. He's got these stones and he's fighting a fucking, built up lightweight in Sean Brady.
Bodybuilder.
Might be a $145 and he fucking, he's got his bench press up to 350. So he's bench pressing with AJ. So he's fucking, he's up here at 170. I think that the matchup ended up being terrible for Sean Brady because you couldn't get to the top position. Now you start these guys with Sean Brady in half guard, we got a whole different story. But he couldn't really close that distance. Like anytime he was closing the distance, he was kind of shelling up. Like he kind of knew he was going to get popped. And Michael Morales, the raw talent is there. I'm not saying that at all. This dude's a fucking athlete, okay? I don't care if he's walking up to cars in a G-string and some crazy this motherfucker is a beast, okay? He is going to be able to put people out when they stand in front of him, when they make stupid mistakes. But you get up to that level, right? Like, I think Ian Gary's a pretty bad matchup. I think, like, there are tougher matchups for him. And it's going to come down to him getting better at martial arts. He needs to clean up that footwork. He needs to. There are rudimentary things to his striking. It looks a little bit novice to me. Now, sometimes novice works, bro. People, how many times you heard somebody shit on Deontay Wilder? How many times have I shit on Deontay Wilder? He was the heavyweight of WBC.
This is the comparison, though. Yeah. Morales reminds me a little bit of Wilder at times, with things not technically correct, but having such an explosive power in his shots that he's going to be able to put people away. I will say, like a Shavkat Rakhmonov, who's good in all areas, I would like to see that type of fight for Michael Morales. I think that's somebody that could give him problems. And they're both undefeated, so I kind of feel like, hey, maybe that's the number one contender fight to make. Definitely was impressive. He's definitely close to a title shot. I definitely think he has a great future ahead. He's only 26, man. So listen, technical flaws or not, at 26 to do that to Sean Brady, there's definitely something to be said about
different
what Michael Morales
just wear 26 so much differently, AJ. Sure. That Cage Warriors kid who's making his debut this card is 26. He looks like a fucking high schooler. You'd have to fucking card him if you went to it.
I know.
Michael Morales is 26 and he's out here putting Sean Brady out. I'm impressed with some aspects of his game. Yeah, he's a beast.
Agreed. Hey, Jared Nunes, thank you for $19.99. My guys, great to see both of you. Sorry I missed last week. Much love. Hey, we're glad to have you back, brother. W to Jared Nunes. All love, bro.
Thank you, Jared. Thank you, buddy.
Let's go. Ateba Gatier's 23. KZ just said it in chat. That doesn't make sense to me. Ateba Gatier's 23 years old.
Is that real?
Yeah.
Oh my God, bro.
He's different. Different animals, man.
Huh?
Different animals.
Wow, 23. So he's 10 years younger than me. Yeah, you know what though? John Jones was like 21, 22. You remember? Some people just wear
became
it
a champ at 23. No, it's different.
Some people just wear it different. So, hey, man, Michael Morales is a beast. He's up in the contention now. Let's see him in a badass matchup like a Shavkat. Yes, I'm down.
Let's go. Carlos Prates destroyed Leon Edwards and had him grinning as he was put out cold. That was something out of a damn movie. I love that live, bro. I started fucking laughing. I was having fun with that. I really thought Carlos Prates was live to land that straight left. Sure enough, it's the fucking fight-winning shot. Prates looks sick on the feet. My God. Carlos Prates' striking is something to behold. And it makes me more impressed by Ian Gary because I'm like, yo, Gary was able to strike with him and outstrike him for a lot of that fight up until getting caught in round 5. I'm thinking about Carlos Prates. He's a guy in the running for a world title fight. Carlos Prates versus Jack Della Maddalena would be a sick striking match, you know? That would be a good one to put together. But you know what the thing is, I'm hearing from some pundits, they're saying they want the Sean Brady Jack Della fight because they want to see if Jack Della can beat somebody that can grapple. But I'm like, does Bilal not exist, for God's sake? Does Bilal not exist? It's not that Jack Della can't grapple. It's that nobody is Islam Makhachev. Like, it's just a different level in what he can do. Yeah. And I just, look at a Carlos Prates Jack Della fight is like guaranteed entertainment. That's a sick fight night main event. That's a huge matchup on a pay-per-view. That's a striker's delight. Are you kidding me? Who the fuck doesn't want to see it? I could do Prates versus Buckley. Like, there's options for sure. I definitely like Prates in striking fights.
this was the first time we saw Prates really let his hands go. Like, he's real good with the knees, the kicks, even some elbows and some clinch work, the tie plum and stuff. But, bro, he fucking finally just stepped off. I think DC broke it down perfect. He stepped off that center line. Boom, he lined him up for that straight two. It was beautiful. And, Leon Edwards was on a date with the referee, bro. They were making eye contact and shit. He was whispering him sweet nothings. Leon Edwards is bald. That's really what's that's really what's going on here. I think Leon Edwards is bald, and it's a problem. Him not having hair is really a sign, and I don't see him doing well in this top 5. Like, what are they going to do with him? They're probably not going to give him winnable fights that are like going to be favorable matchups to him at this point in his career. So if he wants to keep, hitting this piggy bank, he might keep hitting the canvas, dude. He does not have a good style for an aging fighter. He does not. And I think Carlos Prates is just, he's got that dog in him, and he's hungry, and he wanted it, and he let his hands go, and he got it. So, yeah, him versus JDM, wicked. Come on,
wicked
super
fight.
Fun. You want to be there live for that shit, That's a fight where you get the best out of JDM, bro. JDM fucked up Kevin Holland. JDM fucked up Randy Brown. He's good against some of these grapplers too. In this fight, you always want to say, like, you left it in the cage. It didn't feel to me like Jack Della could really left it in the cage, and it has to do with Islam's aura. It has to do with his incredible skill set, of course. It has to do with PDX Hoya dropping us $150 fucking today. Prates, a top propaholics call, easy work. That's a shout to Mr. AJ DeVito himself.
Propaholics, baby. Hey, guys, just so you know, update for Propaholics this week. Because of the early start in Qatar, I'm doing everything a day earlier. This week's Best MMA Bets will drop tomorrow evening, and Propaholics is going to be the Wednesday night live show. So make sure you guys tune in, Propaholics. There's always big plus money cash in, plus 500 on the side of Aaron Blanchfield by submission, the knockout call I was confident in for the side of Prates. So there's a lot of good stuff. Definitely tune in to the Propaholic Showcase, and you guys can hear from the boy and the community as we go through each and every fight with the most in-depth prop betting deep dive on the internet across all sports, to be honest. Not just MMA, it's sports in general. So definitely tune in, guys. Thank you, PDX. You're a gangster.
Fuck yeah. It was my parlay too. I went with Kyle Dawkins and Carlos Prates, parlay of the week.
Let's go. I think that's the fucking, the juice of the juice.
It sailed right in there.
You know what I want to talk about? You know what I'm going to bring up next? Benoit Saint-Denis, one-hitter quitter. He was leg 2 of my Lock City parlay that cashed us beautifully at plus 141. Benoit Saint-Denis not only won, I thought he would get a knockout here, and he made it look easy. Dariush goes down to one-shot Finch. I know Dariush. He's an acquaintance. I know Dariush is a great grappler. But come on, bro. The chin is not there. He can't take a shot. And BSD put it on him quick, shut his lights out. After getting leg kicked, there's a beautiful leg kick from Dariush. Game, set, match. BSD versus Rafael Fiziev next. Just saying.
Beneil Dariush has gray hair, okay? This was not a card for bald dudes with gray hair. This was not the fucking card, okay? He was in close. He was trying to clinch. Benoit Saint-Denis, being the Tasmanian devil that he is, just was hunting for that chin, exactly like he should have. And it was a mistake for Beneil to be caught reaching like that. We've seen plenty of KOs like that. Beneil's, King's MMA brethren, Anderson Silva, got dropped like that by Chris Weidman. You could go down quite a list. Vanderlei Silva has been dropped like that. You hang on to those clinches, you reach and you hang on to stuff, and one person's punching and one person's reaching. It's not a good combination for the person who is not on offense with their fists. So big knockout for BSD. I mean, it was teed up for him to get. Like, obviously we acknowledge that was the way for Benoit Saint-Denis to win, right? Is to fucking just let it rip and find that chin. Beneil Dariush needed a grapple. He couldn't get it done.
Yeah, listen, BSD, big W. I was very happy. Bez 1990 thing for 240. Islam looks like he knows his cousin too well. Thank you for the money, my man. Thank you for the money. Thank you.
I mean, is it the worst though? Like, I don't think Islam's the worst of the bunch. There is that famous picture of him sitting cage side.
He has the habit of doing it. I had a kid in my kindergarten class that
that's
did
not
that.
A good look. That, there's a lot of things we could say about that one that I won't say. But like, is it like Orolbai bad? Is it like, somebody's
Orolbai's 10,000 BC, bro. He came carved out of fucking ice. You got to understand.
He's the original.
He's the original, bro. He wasn't born in this timeline.
Right.
You got to understand.
All right. Yeah, I'm sure.
PDX Hoya, thank you for $9.99. That chin plus the weight miss. Come on, man. Yeah, Finch. I was curious to take. Thank you for PDX for $9.99. I was curious your take on this, man. What did you think of that fucking weigh-in? I thought Beneil Dariush looked worse than ever.
I was in Phoenix, Arizona, and so I didn't see it until afterwards. Yeah. Somebody misses weight. It's a huge red flag. It's a massive red flag. So, I don't, especially at his age, brother, like, huge question marks. I can definitely say I saw him training 2 weeks before the fight. He looked healthy. He looked in shape. He was out grappling a UFC fighter, taking his back, looking good in the grappling department. He did say no to grappling a light heavyweight, which I thought was pretty reasonable. The lights out light heavyweight champion came up to him and asked him to grapple. And he goes, no. He's like, no big guys, But that seemed reasonable to me. I didn't think he was injured when I saw him train 2 weeks ago. A lot can happen in 2 weeks. I don't know. What I do know is when you see somebody miss weight and they've got gray hair, red flag.
Red flag. Thank you for $9.99, brother. Hey, BSD to the moon, bro. Dariush, bro. We can do Michael Chandler. That's the best we can offer. I think Chandler might put him out, man. That Dariush chin is a red flag and a half, bro.
I like Dariush and Michael Chandler. Yeah, right? I like that.
Okay.
HA, like once a show, you hit me with a matchup where I'm like, damn, I never thought of that shit.
Oh.
How about this one? You tell me if my boy Voice of MMA on YouTube, you tell me if he's tripping. He said Wei Li fought like Michael Chandler. He said she looked like Michael Chandler throwing punches out there. What do you think?
I'm not gonna compare it to Chandler, but it was pretty bad. So I mean, I get it.
Tripping.
It was, I don't know about trip. Like, I get he's using maybe the Oliveira fight where Chandler was just missing from range. There's elements of it that I can compare to. I don't think it's like an outlandish take, like no way. Right. But I, I'm giving Wei Li a little more credit for, I just don't even want to compare her to Michael Chandler. I'm not trying to disrespect the great Wei Li to that degree, you understand? But she did get fucking, tossed around.
Yeah, I thought her shit was more straight. I was giving
him a sneeze or something, Finch. What the hell just happened?
What?
What did you say? You just spasmed out. I thought you were about to sneeze or something.
No, is my internet probably spasmed out. I spasmed out.
Yeah, the way your eyes look, man. I thought you were about to hold the sneeze in. Oh shit! Look, you just had like a sour patch or something like that.
I don't like spicy food, sour stuff. Yeah, that could have happened. No, I think I have not short circuited. I'm here. Yeah, I think Wei Li did not pull a Michael Chandler. But speaking of Michael Chandler, I think Beneil Dariush versus Michael Chandler, that is the correct fight.
Let's go. We got to shout out the Bo Show. High kick KO. What is he? Leon Edwards reincarnate. Bo Nickel did good. Took Vieira down a bit, beat him up, dominated the fight. This was a nice win for Bo Nickel, shutting Vieira down, piecing him up on the feet, controlling where the fight took place, easily stopping takedowns, obviously he would. But then finishing the fight with the highlight, with the real statement, him landing that fucking high kick. That was what he needed to keep the hype going. I think up until that moment, he looks pretty good. Yeah, Bo's gonna get some W's, but that high kick puts him back in the mix. Okay, Bo's got something here. I like Bo Nickel's skill set. I think Bo Nickel versus Ikram Aliskerov is a perfect fight to make right now. I think the time of protecting Bo Nickel with these bullshit matchups is over with. He lost to Ranier the Ritter. He just beat Rodolfo Vieira. He has a win over veteran Paul Craig. I want to see him fight Ikram Aliskerov. And I'm going to go out on a whim and say that he's got a real chance against Ikram Aliskerov. I do not think that Ikram is a mismatch for Bo Nickel. I think Bo Nickel could go into that fight. He can strike with Ikram. He can stop Ikram's grappling. He can outpace him with the cardio. I think Bo Nickel's live to beat Ikram Aliskerov. I would like to see Bo Nickel fight Ikram next. And I think he can get the win for USA, Savage Mode, American Wrestling over Dagestan. I'm going Bo Nickel early, bro. Set that fucking fight up. Bo Nickel, show it out.
Promo, guys.
Shit. Let's go.
Clip the promo. Bo Nickel versus Ikram Aliskerov. Wicked fight. Matchmaker AJ. I don't know if Matchmaker Finch throws that one in next, but I don't know. Maybe we don't baby Bo Nickel no more. You saw Dana White walk up to him after that fight. Dana White walked up to him and talked to him like the same way Leon wooed that referee, bro. He was talking to him for a minute, and I think that he was very, very proud and happy to see the performance that Bo Nickel turned around. You saw Bo Nickel flick off the crowd?
That was great.
Yo.
That was great.
Yo,
right, bro.
You motherfuckers, okay? You dunk on these fighters so hard, okay? They care so fucking much what you think, all right? Bo's tossing and turning in bed, reading that fucking comment section with you animals, you savages out there, that once he turned it around, once he got that head kick, he's like, I knew I had that in me. Fuck you guys. That's how he really felt, okay? Quit picking on Bo Nickel. Bo Nickel versus Ikram Aliskerov is a sick fight. I'm not completely sold on Bo Nickel's striking yet. He still fell throwing a head kick. I don't know if you saw his most recent Instagram post. It's all the times he's fallen throwing a head kick. He fell in that fight. Fucking even Vieira, who's a sitting duck, you know, whose head movement is that of the fucking Easter Island head in Chile, bro. You know what I mean? Even him was able to throw a jab and time Bo Nickel and drop his ass when he threw the kick. So I don't I think Ikram Aliskerov is a slight favorite, but I like the fight.
Let's go. I like that fight. Rodolfo Vieira, fuck it, man. Knocked the fuck out for the first time in his career. And you know, he's a back ender in the middleweight division. I don't care to make a matchup next for him, but you know, we'll see him again. I want to run through some more action on the card. There's too many good fights to just jump ahead to Qatar to not get the Finchman's reaction. I want to hear everything. Roman Kopylov, Gregory Rodriguez. Would you make of Rodriguez outstriking Kopylov, shutting him down, threatening with some takedowns? But the one who won the battle of wrestling was actually Kopylov, hitting 2 takedowns, I believe, in the fight.
I know.
It was interesting. RoboCop looks sharp, a patient RoboCop. This is a more tactical RoboCop, not blowing his wad looking for the KO RoboCop.
Yeah, exactly. They kind of reversed roles. It was like Kopylov, you know, you even heard Joe Rogan. The Ronda Rousey says he doesn't know. I didn't know what he's talking about, right? But Joe Rogan said, he's like, hey, Kopylov really needs to focus on his speed here and just relax and stop trying to load up and just get to RoboCop, something along those lines. It was true. It was like, bro, just get back to your jab. Like I feel like Kopylov, you know, was trying to not get hit with anything big and was kind of swinging a little bit with RoboCop, as to where it's like, dude, just settle into that stance and throw that flick jab and that low kick all night. So I thought the strategic approach of Kopylov was wrong. I think that's why he lost. I thought it was competitive. You know, when I first heard about the fight, it was like, oh, RoboCop beat his ass. And then I watched it, you know, because I watched these late. I watched it and I thought it was pretty competitive. I didn't realize how big Kopylov was. RoboCop in my mind is like the BFG. You ever seen that movie? The cartoon where he takes the little kid, the BFG, the big friendly giant. He takes the kid out of her room and he takes you over to the giants, and there's the giants that eats the bones, and he's like the vegetarian giant and he like hides her in the cucumber. You ever seen this? It's a great movie. Okay. Fantastic. Part of my childhood. He's the fucking BFG dude. He is always giant in there. Kopylov wasn't actually that outsized. So this fight threw me for a loop, but yeah, I thought it was not a strict game plan there for Kopylov. I think that's why he fucked this one up. For RoboCop, you know, he showed a well-rounded game and out kickbox Kopylov, power to him, and nothing that impressed me though, right? There's nothing that RoboCop did that I'm like, oh yeah, let's move him up in the rankings. He's going to be able to get these wins he wasn't getting before. He's a middle of the pack guy, and I think he'll continue to be.
Yep, agreed. Perfectly said. Finch, man, on point. Sharp Finch. Hey, W. Erin Blanchfield. She went for the sub. I thought she was coming in fucking mad in this fight. She called the fucking Savage sub out. I called it. I felt good about it. I was grateful that it happened. And it was nice to see Blanchfield strangle Cortez. Erin Blanchfield, she's got that relentless pressure style. She's not the best at striking. She doesn't necessarily have big power, but she throws shots and she walks you down and she peppers the punches. She can grapple at a high level and she's going to break a lot of these girls. Did this performance make me say, oh shit, that Manafero rematch, give me Blanchfield? No, but she's only 26. I think the Macy Barber fight should be rebooked, honestly, because I don't know, we're scrambling. I don't know what the fuck the other matchup would be if not that. But she looked good against Tracy, avenged the loss, strangled her too. There's a lot to be said in a performance like that. And Erin Blanchfield definitely a problem here at 125. Top 5, top 3, maybe.
Absolutely. Her jiu-jitsu is just better than these other women. I mean, she's not a great athlete. It's all like hard work and, jiu-jitsu technique. But she makes it happen. And, Tracy Cortez made a mistake trying to grapple with her. Tracy Cortez clearly needed to kickbox in this fight. That was clearly her pathway. So not the best fight IQ there. And Erin Blanchfield will make you pay for that. You can't be fucking up with Erin Blanchfield, who's possibly, next to like a Kayla Harrison, there's an argument for a Tatiana Suarez, although she gassed really hard in her title fight. So it's hard to put her up there. The best female grappler. There's a Mackenzie Dern argument, but she's up there as the best female grappler in the UFC. And she shows it. Tracy Cortez is a solid wrestler, well-rounded fighter. And to get her out of there is a big deal.
Let's go. Big W Blanchfield. Quick shouts beyond here. Wellmaker, it wasn't Haddon that showed up. It was Ethan Ewing that pulled off the performance and upset of the fucking year.
No fucking notice, dude.
Right? Kid looks sharp. My brother said to me, he's like, oh, I think this kid's going to give Wellmaker a good fight. I was laughing at him. And he's like, bro, you got it.
Why is your brother so on point with the picks, dude?
He's got some good takes, man. He's got some sharp calls. But I think, I looked at it and I said, man, I was like, Wellmaker, he'll knock this kid out 2 days notice. Get the fuck out of my face. And no, kid brought the fight to him, won a dog fight, and Malcolm Wellmaker back to the drawing board. I don't think it's over for him, but he's still a fun prospect. He is 31. I don't know how far he takes it, like whether it's top 15, but I think we'll get some nice knockouts from him. It ain't over yet. Ethan Ewing's deceptively sharp at boxing and was a lot better than people expected.
Yeah, well, people just didn't know who the fuck he was. He's got that big ass head, but he's actually harder to hit than it would seem, and he put a good pace on. He had just fought the week before, so he came out guns blazing, in shape, and gave Malcolm Wellmaker a fight. I think Wellmaker a little overrated. Like you beat up fucking Chris Moitinho, you put out Chris Moitinho, you're the man. You know what I mean? Like what the fuck is a fucking sorry Chris Moitinho, a human punching bag? Like this is this is like sock and boppers shit. This is kids shit. Like this is a different level. The UFC is a much higher level than a Chris Moitinho. Would they bring Chris Moitinho out to give a fighter they want to promote a highlight reel? So for him to be a massive favorite the way he was clearly wrong.
Yeah, agreed. Let's go down. Fight before. We got to talk about it. Dawkins pulls off the sub. I thought the sub was more of like, hey, I want to submit one of the better submission artists after he dropped him. He could have just pounded on him, but he said, fuck it, let me hit the Darce real quick, live up to the Darce Knight nickname. Kyle Dawkins has got it figured out, man. Kyle Dawkins has found his flow. 2 sub 1 minute finishes in a row upon the UFC return and quietly making some waves here at 185. And I think GM3 should probably call it a wraps. You know what I want to see? GM3 Paul Craig grappling match. Fuck the rest. Let's do it. I don't care. Just make it in jiu-jitsu. We don't need to see them strike anyways. Let's do that. That's what I want.
I like that. Why not? Yeah, it was a club and sub, so which is AJ's favorite term. So I always think of AJ when I hear club and sub. Yeah, this was a solid performance by Daukaus. This was the other part of my parlay, by the way. So parlay of the night premium channel was Carlos Prates and Kyle Daukaus, and they both sent it home with a bang. Kyle Daukaus, in very short order. GM3, it was not a good pay-per-view to be an old man.
No, was not. GM3, tough loss. 4 in a row now. I think there comes a time where a guy with nearly 60 pro fights should consider calling it wraps, but we'll see what's next. Definitely Daukaus on the running up the ranks, and I like what I saw from him, man. Fight before, Pat Sabatini, Chepe. Sabatini was positionally dominant, out-wrestled Chepe Mariscal. Mariscal landed a lot of damaging strikes, head kick in round 1 that cut Sabatini. A little bit of a claw to the eye on the ground that seemed to bother Sabatini. Had Sabatini bleeding from that eye a bit. Chepe was a dog in the fight, but Sabatini showed that his ground skills are not to be fucked with, and good control by him. It was good. It was quality shit.
I think, and I watched the replay. You tell me if I'm wrong. I think that was a claw to the cut. I don't think it was to the eye. I don't think it was to the eye. I think and it's a rule after Tito Ortiz did it way back. You can't put your fingers in opponents' orifices. Keep your fingers out of my ass. You know what I mean? So that's an orifice, right? So I think he raked the cut to open it more, because Chepe's a goddamn dog, and he's trying to win at all costs. Chepe got out wrestled, dude. I fucked this one up. I bet on this one. I gave this one out. This one kept us having a good night. Chepe Mariscal got out wrestled. He got out wrestled the first time they fought, but my take was like, did Sabatini get better at wrestling because Chepe won the first fight, And the answer was actually Pat Sabatini got better at jiu-jitsu. He got better on the mat. He was able to control Chepe much better. And, Chepe's just grown leaps and bounds in the past couple of years. It's been very impressive to see, him really make a style that suits his personality. He's a dog. He likes to get in these tough fights. He's durable, but when the judges read the scorecards, that's all that matters. And he got out wrestled.
Let's go. Absolutely, man. Out wrestled, out grappled, and beaten. Fatima Klein looks sensational, shutting down Angela Hill. She's a blue chip prospect, a needed prospect to get the division a shake in. I think she's definitely one to keep an eye on here.
She's built like a bird, but goddamn, she could fight. She can go forward. She can mix it up. She could land takedowns. She could grapple on the fence. She could box a little bit. She knows how to get into a fight. She's exciting to watch.
Absolutely. Loved it. Big performance. Nice W. Contender on the come up. Tsarukyan, Mechanico. Basinger Tsarukyan scores the 3rd round KO, but there were some testy moments. Basinger Tsarukyan, he's still young at 24. He had a lot of that hype because of how impressive he looked on Contender, and then he took that fight, and got matched up just a few days later. It was a lot of initial hype, and then this performance, he scored a nice knockout, but it's not without, Mechanico giving him bit of trouble in certain moments. I was not blown away with Tsarukyan. I definitely think he's got some time to put some things together at 24. I think there's some fine tuning that's going to be needed. His name says it all, Sus. I have to say, I don't think he's going to be like the second coming of a Hamzat, but who knows where he'll be in 4 years. I think that Tsarukyan definitely looks like a good prospect. But a little bit of that 24-year-old body. Like, I don't think he's the most physically strong guy at this weight class. I actually think he'd be better suited to be a skinny welterweight as opposed to being a little bit on the skinnier side at middleweight, dealing with these big monsters. I don't know with Tsarukyan. He's got slick stand-up, and there's things to like. He's got good timing, but he gets backed up a bit. He gets out-muscled a bit. There seems to be some fight IQ mistakes, too.
That's for sure. Like, the way he started the fight, they're like, fight. He's like still on the fence. So Mechanico's like, all right, I'm going to come beat the fuck out of you, bro. You know what I mean? And then Mechanico gets into the clinch and starts jacking up the underhook. I'm like, is this how you wanted to start the fight? Dumbass. He's out there showboating and losing in those moments, and risking and taking stupid risks. Like, guys, you tell me this. When you bet on someone, do you want them to roll the dice and gamble with the victory and showboat? Or do you want the Islam Makhachev who just goes and gets the fucking job done? I know what I want.
Yeah, agreed. Big win for Sasukev, though. Nonetheless,
best front kick in the UFC. It's a beautiful front kick. It's a snapping front kick. It's fast. It's beautiful. Reminds me of McGregor's. Wow, it's a whip. You know, you can't catch a whip, yeah. You throw it out there like a whip, yeah. And he does a great job doing it, dude. He's got to grow as a professional fighter in the UFC to match that ego, because he's not to where the ego is yet, you know.
No. Agreed. And then the fight before was our first fight of the night, Lock City parlay piece number 1. Matheus Camilo wins the decision. There were some nervous moments though, like he looked a little bit tired, but he still was landing shots on Slava. When he lets his hands go, Camilo's sharp. He's got some hand speed and power for sure, but he seems very worried about gassing out. And Slava was walking him down a bit, but instead of looking for big shots, Slava's kind of just peppering jabs and light shots, like a sparring style pace. I was very confused. I think Slava at this point, 8-7-1 is not a UFC record in 2025, coming upon 2026. I think he's probably out of the damn job here with the UFC. But Camilo's a decent prospect, but I got red flags written all over Camilo. I definitely worry that the gas tank is tested by a guy that's going to put more pressure on him. Slava didn't put enough. He was winning the battle of real estate, but he didn't have enough volume to go through with it, or the damaging shots to go through with it, So good win for Matheus Camilo to survive. But there was that third round. I was a little nervous. I was like, oh, shit. I was like, I'm worried, bro. Camilo backing away. I'm like, oh, fuck. Don't tell me. Don't tell me he's going down. Don't tell me he's fucking quitting,
Yeah, he's had cardio issues, man. We've seen him slow down before. And Slava Claw is always fucking dangerous, but always having a problem with grappling. I think he got edged out in this one. Camilo was the free channel play of the night. So shout out to Free Channel. They've been eating this month. And, premium channel. I'm about to do something special for Black Friday, too.
Let's go. Shout out to the finish.
Should I finish that plug?
You should.
$1 for Black Friday, AJ. AJ, I want you in premium channel, okay?
$1.
Fucking dollar. And you know what? You're gonna say, Mike, Black Friday is coming up. I saw this comment, so I got my wheel spinning. That you're gonna say, Mike, Black Friday, there's no card. Okay, that's why it's coming for UFC Qatar. $1 to join premium channel.
Wow.
Direct message at Mike Finch Show on Instagram. You guys could get my favorite bets this week for $1. Let's fucking go.
Bro, I think everybody should just go sign up now. It's $1. The Finch man has got the deal of a fucking lifetime out for the people. And I like that, Mike Finch. I like that a lot. That's very cool of you, bro. So W Finch man with the Black Friday dollar deal. Wow, what a gem of a guy, Mike Finch. I appreciate it, man. I'm happy to hear it, bro.
I get to make custom content for them, so I gotta do something fun for this one. I've busted out my Glock 34. I've given them some good ones, so I'll have to do something fun for the Black Friday week. So come hang out.
Let's go. Shout out to the Finch man. I like the deal that he's got going, and I'm excited for UFC Qatar. Now I'm looking at the live chat, and I'm seeing we got 220-ish people watching live, but the live likes is not living up to it. We're only at 34. I'm kind of disappointed with the likes, guys. We got to run it up.
Close the stream, bro.
100. At least, still less than 50%. Come on now. Let's get 100 likes going as we jump into UFC Qatar, and we're going to talk every single fight on this damn card. I'm pretty excited for this event. And there's some weird matchups like this one in our face. Fight number 1 is Marek Bujło versus Denzel Freeman. This is a fight that should take place on Dana White's Contender Series, not a UFC card. Now, Freeman is the LFA heavyweight champ. He's taking this fight on short notice. Originally, Bujło was supposed to face off against Jose Luis, who maybe even arguably is a lesser level guy than Denzel Freeman. What does Bujło really offer? I've seen him ground and pound some fucking journeymen that are throwing fights, it seems like. And he's a Polish jiu-jitsu champion, and he has a school, and he's a coach. Denzel Freeman is an ex-US Marine. He's got the wrestling background. He's heavy-handed. He's got the win over Hugo Cunha last time. I'm going Denzel Freeman to upset a guy that seems to have a fraudulent record. And PDX Hoya is dropping another dono, $20. He says, hit that like button, WPDX. And I agree that people should absolutely smash the likes. Thank you, bro.
PDX is a generous man. Thank you, PDX. And he is right. Hit that fucking like button. If half of the people don't fucking like this thing, You some sick bastards. Yo, you got a jiu-jitsu black belt, you know? You got a heavyweight contender who's untested, but the flip side of that coin is, who the fuck has Bujło been fighting? You know, Bujło's been fighting. AJ thinks the fights are fixed. Say it out loud. Fucking say it out loud.
The guys just look like they're turtling up and he's hitting them in the arms and they're done. Like these guys have losing records and it's just, you know, it's fights against guys that they're not, whether or not before the fight there's an agreement that they're going to lose on purpose. There's not an effort to win. I've seen those fights should be flagged on Tapology, for God's sake. And the complete mismatches. I mean, undefeated guy versus
matchups. I would agree with you that these are like being fed to the lions. You know, it's like when you take somebody down there and Hades feeds them to that 3-headed dog. You know, it's just like here you go to Bujło. You know, it's not fair fights. And Raniero man 4705 is also correct. Hit that
Raniero man, my boy.
Button. It doesn't cost you anything. Unlike premium channel, would cost you $1 this week. Okay,
that's a fucking deal.
Over. I got Freeman. Why not? He's the LFA champion. He's got a wrestling background. AJ, he's a little bit athletic. You know, maybe he could put some hands on Bujło too. I feel like just with the basic striking wrestling, I'm still gonna favor the guy who's fought real competition. We're both on Freeman, and the odds aren't crazy.
No, he's a -165 favorite because as soon as the odds open, anybody that heard the good word probably ran and bet the side of freaking Freeman because he was a +160 underdog at open. So anybody that got him at +160, kudos to you. That's fantastic. -165 doesn't seem awful. I'd rather play this unknown as an underdog, but at the end of the day, I think that, you know, Bujło, I've never seen him fight anybody with skill at all. Whereas, you know, Hugo Kuno is not good, but he fought on Contender Series. He had an LFA belt. You know, Freeman also beat Steven Asplund, who beat Garasio on Contender Series and is in the UFC now. And I think that win demands some respect. So I don't know, man. Unless Bujło really is a fucking dominator of worlds, maybe he's a problem. Maybe he's like a Martian Tybura type and he throws around Freeman and beats the shit out of him. And we're like, wow, we slept on him. But I have no evidence of opponents with any set of resistance, whereas Freeman has fought guys that at least are trying to beat him.
Fought guys in PFL, LFA. Yeah, we got to go with somebody who actually has some experience. You know, there's really like I got in this discussion with a professional fighter who's trying to he's on the up and up. I don't think he would care if I said David Rivera, Mr. Sinister, and he's this fucking exciting striker, dude. I go out to see him at a local promotion and he's fucking people up. And you know, he fought this tough wrestler recently and I told him I didn't like the matchup and he did get held down and had his first loss as a professional. And I was talking to him about it. He goes, yeah, well, they offered me this guy who was, I'm making up a record, I don't know, 2-10 or whatever. He's like, I said no. And I'm like, why? Like, I'm like, you know, like eat these, crush the cans, you know, work your way up. Then you fight some decent competition to prove yourself. Then you get into the UFC. I like that trajectory better.
Boxing like too, which is, you know, a newer thing in MMA that's happening. Whereas for a long time, I feel like that wasn't necessarily the case. We see it a lot more with guys that have these built up records.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you know, and I could say it as an amateur champ myself. Like I had matchups where it was a good matchup, you know, and then the guy pulls out and it's fucking 10 days out and they're like, you want to fight this fucking Joe Schmo? I'm like, of course. You know what I mean? I'll smash this guy, you know, like why would you say no? I don't understand. So, you know, there are some fighters who have the mindset of David Rivera, which, he's a gangster, but he needs a manager. You know what I mean? They need the way Bujło
manager Mike Finch. What are we doing
from Bujło's perspective? It doesn't mean Bujło sucks, I guess is my point. There could be some intelligence behind this, but what it does mean is that I don't have evidence as somebody who bets on fights that he's going to be able to compete with a guy who fought legit competition all the way up in the PFL, won the LFA. You know, it's I got to go with Freeman. I got to go where the proof is in the pudding, and Freeman has showed me some proof.
I agree. We're going Freeman for the win. Manager Mike Finch, where are we going to go? Our Ali Abdelaziz turn for the Finch man, managing fighters? Is this not playing in the future, Mike Finch?
Apparently, you don't even have to be a lawyer or nothing. You know, I've been asked to manage a pro fighter. Do you know who I've been asked to manage?
Who?
Joe Riggs.
Joe Riggs. Why didn't you say yes? That would have been sick. The fuck, Joe?
Because I'm not a manager. I'm not a lawyer.
What makes a manager?
You know, like I'm
a manager, somebody that knows how to talk well, somebody that knows the art of the deal. All right. And somebody that's going to fucking show up to the damn meetings, bro. That's it. You wear a nice suit and it's game time.
To be fair, Joe never asked me directly. This was indirectly. This was through, I used to help run a store, Knockout MMA in Gurney Mills. And the owner of the store was telling me that he was in discussions that, Joe Riggs is looking for a manager. He's like, I said, I got this guy, Mike. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, I can't be managing these fighters. Interesting, surely, but I kind of like talking shit with you more than managing the fighters. I gotta be honest.
Respect. It would be a bit of a conflict of interest if you were managing guys on the card and then
talking fights. And I'm doing commentary for the XFO, which is fantastic. I'm hosting weigh-ins and running the social media, doing marketing for Lights Out.
What did I do for XFO? What did I do? Tell the people, man.
Oh my God, are you guys ready for this? I fucking I needed to call on the talents. Look at the graphic talents of AJ DeVito. AJ made the poster for the XFO. The XFO is having the Night of Champions going down next Wednesday. Jesus Christ. Next Wednesday in Bensonville, Illinois. That's Bensonville, Illinois, AJ. And AJ made a dope poster. If you guys want to go check it out, it's at XFO World. We had to I just took over the social. So I had to make a new social because they were locked out of their old one,
I follow
etc. But you know what? Go on Instagram at XFO World or at XFO MMA everywhere else. You could check out the poster AJ made. AJ, you did a good job.
Thanks, man. Listen, some spelling flaws a few times through. I would have thought that I was straight out of fucking India, but it is what it is. The actual design was pretty sharp. And I don't know, man. I don't think they're calling me back for a session 2. They're going to throw on the fucking table with my typos. But listen, the classic. It's a fucking nice poster.
It's a great poster. It's at 1005 Commerce Courty. This motherfucker added a Y to Commerce Court. And then Bensonville is right there. AJ spelled what does it say? Bensville.
That was on you, that one. I'm not taking the blame for that one, bro. You did it too.
That was my fault. I sent him the text and
holy shit.
I trust my boy AJ. I'm on vacation in AZ. I'm like, he's got it. AJ sends me the poster. I send it. I don't proofread it. I send it right away. The promoter comes back to me. He goes, these posters with typos, get out quick, makes us look dumber than we are. So, AJ,
shit.
Court, not Courty. Addresses wrong.
Did you get the upgraded version though? It looked good, the final one.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. So anyway, the final one is gorgeous. Shout out to AJ for making the poster for the XFO. If you are in the Chicagoland area, come see your boy. I'm going to be on the microphone with my boy Matt Locascio calling XFO Night of Champions, where they're putting up every single XFO amateur title. It's going to be bananas. We'll see you just outside of Chicago in Bensonville the day before Thanksgiving. I know you got off work, motherfuckers. Come say what's up.
Let's go. There we go. Shout out to the Finch. Shout it out. Shout it out. All right. We're going Freeman, and I'm done with this fucking fight. All right. The side tangent was more fun than the fucking breakdown, I feel like. Let's jump to fight 2. Give me a second here. I want to make sure I get this right here. We got Serghei Izagakhmaev. Okay. This is the first time in a long time I actually botched the name in the prediction show with Izagakhmaev versus Nicolas Dalby. I'm going to go with the guy that hasn't fought for a while in Serghei. He trains with Islam Makhachev, and he looks pretty good from what I saw of, oh my God. Shout out to the trading champ with a $200 dono. Morales KO paid. Thanks, AJ. Trading champ, you are a fucking generous gem to society. Thank you for the love on the dono and the shout on the Morales knockout prop. Brilliant. Holy shit, man. Thank
Morales you. Brilliant. That's fucking brilliant. Bro. This is my face whenever I get a dono from Trading Champ, okay?
Yeah.
Shout out to my guy, Richie the Barber, by the way. Trading Champ, you're a fucking gem, man. Thank you so much for the 200. Trading Champ and PDX Hoya, the sponsors of the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. Shout out to both of them. Spectacular work today. It's much appreciated. I'm going with Izagakhmaev because I believe in the Dagestani wrestling, the combat sambo base. Reminds me a little bit of Islam Makhachev, obviously not to that degree, but I think that he's going to be able to out-wrestle Dalby. I think he's going to be able to embrace the grind if need be. I know Dalby's a dog, and he's got some decent flurry and punches and some good body kicks, and he's got cardio for days, but if he's on his back getting controlled, none of that really matters. I don't think he has a submission game from bottom necessarily. I feel like Izagakhmaev, though, the element of the fight is we haven't seen him fight in nearly 3 years. There's that just right there is the red flag. But I like that he was in the camp with Islam leading up to the world title fight.
Yeah.
I'm going to believe in a guy coming in who hasn't fought in a long time. But, maybe on the betting side, not crazy about it. But pick side, I feel it should be the right call.
Nicolas Dalby's a fucking animal. He's a dog. He brings a pace. Like, some of the fights he's in, he gets close. He's gritty. In the third round, he's still fucking on the gas pedal going for it. I mean, Nicolas Dalby's experienced too, 23-6. I mean, so is Sagid at 22-2. That's fantastic. The Gabriel Bonfim win, AJ, in 2023. I mean, it stands out, dude. Like, look at how good Gabriel Bonfim is, and Nicolas Dalby just being a goddamn dog, digging deep and getting that one's fantastic. In this matchup, brother, I think he's in over his head here. I do believe in this Russian. I believe in his wrestling. He's a powerful dude. He didn't fight terrible competition in one, but he is winning like against Shinya Aoki, who's way washed, and he had some gimmies, but at least, Eagle FC, a couple fights in one. He's seen a little bit of competition. So I think he's going to come into the UFC as, a bit of a veteran outside of the UFC. And so it won't be such a rough start. A lot of times when people make their UFC debut and they're up against the UFC veteran who's got fucking balls of titanium like Nicolas Dalby, I might fade them. I don't think so, brother. I don't think so. I think it's home field advantage in Qatar. I think he's going to be able to get a hold of Nicolas Dalby and do what he wants. Give me Sagid. Give me probably, honestly, finds a finish.
Sagid is a 3-1 favorite currently with Dalby at plus 250 as the underdog. It's also a 41-year-old Nicolas Dalby coming off a bad loss to Randy Brown. Granted, he showed dog in that fight, but got put flat out. Holy shit. PDX Hoya with the $100 sponsor status. I need that hat, AJ. What's up, Trading Champ? Hey.
Yo, hey, we should send out some hats, dude. I would totally be down to send you guys some hats. Me and AJ have talked about making merch, PDX Hoya.
Yes.
It would be PDX Hoya facing off against Trading Champ. We'll do like a fucking McGregor Mayweather,
Yeah.
It was gonna be me and AJ, like me and AJ on the, like a fight poster,
Yeah.
Maybe we got to cook something up for them. Christmas is coming, dog.
Let's go. Hey, shout out to the boy PDX Hoya with the $100. This guy's always a fucking generous gem to society. And thank you for showing love, man.
Buddy.
Holy shit. Yeah, don't know competition. Love to see it. Is fucking valid. These guys are savages.
I'll make these two fight. Okay, that's what I do. Okay, I'll make these two fight. I've been doing it since high school. I'm like, I think you would beat this kid's ass, and they're like, fuck that. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, hey, if you guys want to fight, I got a little gym in my garage. I've been doing this since I was a kid. So
great.
PDX Hoya versus Trading Champ is the co-main event of the next Jake Paul fight. Okay,
Jake Paul's fighting Anthony Joshua now.
Is that real?
That is more than real. That's absolutely approved and official.
Wow.
Friday, December 19th, I believe.
If AJ does not decapitate this kid, I'm gonna be so pissed, bro.
If
AJ decides to go out there and do what Jake did to Mike Tyson, just kind of let him off the hook, I'm gonna fuck it. Dude, please, AJ, please go out there and fight this kid. Come on.
I think
is he?
It's a pro fight. It ain't an exhibition match either. Pro heavyweight fight.
How do they sanction this shit?
I mean, Jake Paul's got a lot of pro matches at this point. It's 8 rounds. Joshua can't weigh more than 245. So there's a little bit of the weight cap.
Wow, they always play fucking games, you know?
Yeah,
It's like you
yeah,
ever see like the Floyd fights where his opponent's drinking water and Floyd's got Gatorade? You're like, what the fuck? You know,
yeah,
always on some bullshit, you know?
yeah.
Boxing is a dirty fucking game, kids.
I know,
Boxing is a dirty fucking game. How dare they make Anthony Joshua lose weight? Come on. Come
I
on.
know, I know. Against Daniel Dubois, he weighed in at 252. So I mean, he's weighed in at, the 240 mark in the past. Lately, he's been in the 250s. Last time he was at the 245 mark was against Usyk in their rematch in 2022. So, I mean, I think he has no problem making 245, and I think, should be a destruction, but we shall find out.
Yeah, Cash Patel better be in the fucking front row. Sean Shelby's
Shit.
right.
Yeah.
You know, better put Cash Patel right there and Pam Bondi right next to him. Shout out to anybody who got the Pam Bondi reference.
Well, Finch, references aside.
I mean,
she's in with the FBI. I know he's on. Yeah.
Pam Bondi, the Attorney General of the United States of America, AJ.
Oh, no.
You know the goddamn executive branch, AJ.
Judicial, right?
Judicial, executive.
Judicial?
What's the third one?
There's one more. I don't remember. I learned it in school though.
Judicial, the judges, right?
And
Yeah,
the orderly.
judicial, the Supreme Court, executive, the president, right?
The orderly court, the
White
Congress,
House,
Congress,
and then
Congress.
which is the
Legislative. Yeah,
legislative.
There we go. I
Thank
fucking
you,
forgot,
AJ.
man.
Professor
Jeez.
Finch out.
Let's go. Thank you, Professor Finch. Professor Finch and I both going Serghei Izagakhmaev to get it done. Next fight on the card, we got Nurullo Aliev versus Shamrock. I got to go with the Habib clone in Nurullo Aliev, but I do like Shamrock's submission game. He's got pretty good jiu-jitsu, but, does it really matter if you're pinned on your back and can't do anything from full guard? No. I feel like Aliev is really live to control the fight with his wrestling. He'll get to top position. I don't know if he'll even pass the guard. It could be a substantial amount of the fight of him just pressing forward and holding a bit in the clinch and, taking him down. Shaqueme Rock's got good back takes, but normally he's got the wrestling edge. Without that, I'm worried about him. He's 32 years old as well as the prospect versus the 24-year-old. Aliev's got the UFC experience on his side at this point. I think Nurullo Aliev can win. He's definitely not blown me away on his UFC run. I mean, Joe Selecki, he was dominant, but he didn't get mounted at the very end of the fight. But it's not like him getting mounted by Joe Selecki at the end negates what he did throughout a vast majority of the first 14 minutes. I think he should dominate Shaqueme Rock into probably a decision.
Yeah, Nurullo Aliev always wins by decision, and Ken Shamrock always wins by submission. So I think Nurullo Aliev probably is going to wet blanket this dude. And he's in the right part of the world probably to get a decision if he wants to be a little boring about it. I think really it's going to come down to Ken Shamrock trying to make something happen, like when the takedowns happen, slapping that guillotine on, getting Nurullo Aliev to give top position, and then maybe Ken Shamrock can make something happen. But I think the Nurullo Aliev decision is a very wise play here.
Yeah, I think decision makes sense. Positional dominance, but the betting lines are real wide. Minus 265. I think it's not that bad. Plus 225 for Shamrock. What'd you make of Shamrock's jits, though? I mean, the guy's got game for sure. He's got good back takes. He's got long legs. He's got submission skills, but, does that work against a wrestler like Aliev?
It does and it doesn't, right? Like you have to be able to move. Like you have to, in order to make jiu-jitsu work, you can't have your hips pinned and be flat on your back. And Aliev is good at doing that to people. He's good at using an underhook and finding pins. You want to be able to use frames, create space. Like you saw Jack Della. He would start to climb up that back and Islam Makhachev would just cross-face him and put him right back down. You need to be able to contest those positions really well. And I just haven't seen evidence that he could do that in the UFC, especially over there in Qatar. I just feel like he's on an enemy territory, dude. This just seems like Aliev's world here. I think Aliev's going to be able to pin him to the mat and make his game happen. And the UFC loves ground and pound and striking in Las Vegas. How are the judges going to judge in Qatar? I'm assuming maybe not the exact same. They might give a little love to the wrestling. It's like, how do you score the Fatima Klein Angela Hill second round? Angela Hill got a little bit of striking in there, but Fatima Klein did hit like 1 or 2 takedowns. So did the takedowns outweigh the striking moments? Because Klein certainly won 1 and 3. With that type of mindset and them being in Qatar, again, dude, I feel like if Ken Shamrock can't finish it, I got to go Nurullo Aliev getting the decision.
Yeah, agreed, man. I think Aliev probably takes it home. Decision, control-based decision, and Shaqueme Rock. I mean, best chance is somehow finding a way into a finish, which I just don't think is crazy likely at this point. So for me, the Aliev side getting the hand raised is more likely, even though I do think he's a bit overrated because he looks a lot like Khabib Nurmagomedov. That's the truth of it all.
If you come to XFO Night of Champions where AJ made the poster and I'm doing commentary and you don't get a picture with me, I'll be pissed, okay? Come see your boy.
Let's go. Shout out. Shout out. Let's keep running. Next fight on the card. We got Ismail Naurdiev versus Ryan Loder. I'm picking Ryan Loder to pull off the upset here. I think Ryan Loder can get on top. I know people are going to look at the Bakoyev fight and say, well, here's striking shit, and that's it. I'm not ready to lose faith in a guy with the strong wrestling. Naurdiev, he's got decent stand-up, but he's not this incredible power puncher. He's got solid precision on his shots, but he's not a destroyer of worlds like Azamat Bakoyev. It's easy to look at Azamat Bakoyev post-Yusri Belgori loss and just completely negate what he did, but like destroyed Reese and then destroyed the side of Loder. He's a strong wrestler, and he's going to walk you down and throw big shots. Naurdiev's bread and butter in his game. He's not a high-level offensive nor defensive wrestler. He's more of a kickboxer. And Ryan Loder's got a big size advantage. Naurdiev, he's listed at 6 foot. He's 5'10". And Ryan Loder is 6'2", and he's a bigger middleweight with really an imposing top pressure game and some ground and pound. If Loder can land the takedowns, I think he'd be more than live to finish Naurdiev here with ground and pound. I think that Bakoyev is just a terrible matchup because he's such a pressure-first fighter and he's got good wrestling defense, whereas Naurdiev is more of the distance kickboxing. And if Loder can get Naurdiev going backwards, I think Loder can find his way on top, and I think Loder can do some work from top position. I'm going to believe in Savage Mode USA. I'm going with the American here. I think Ryan Loder gets it done. I don't think I'm ready to close the book on Ryan Loder's UFC career, and Naurdiev just puts him away, and the Ultimate Fighter winner is a complete wash here. I think Ryan Loder can get a W in this matchup. I like the chances of him as an underdog. I think he's real live here. I'm going with the Ryan Loder side. I believe in the wrestling, and I'm going All-American in this one.
It's a tough one, dude. Ryan Loder's striking is so bad. Ryan Loder's striking is so bad, bro. Ryan Loder's wrestling is nice, but he got melted by Bakoyev. He made me think Bakoyev was better than Bakoyev ended up being. I mean, Bakoyev ran into a fucking world-class kickboxer, so maybe maybe we got a lot to see with all these guys, but Ryan Loder's striking is bad. Like that Valentine win, bro. Like, admit it. You like that Valentine guy and he sucks. Admit it. Valentine is trash, right? Okay, thank you. So like, who is Ryan? That season of The Ultimate Fighter, those guys haven't done shit, bro. Those were some bum ass tough guys. So winning that season of The Ultimate Fighter is like winning the Special Olympics. That was fucked up. I didn't mean to say it like that. That was fucked up. I love the Special Olympics. Shout out to Lamb's Farm in Illinois, where my buddy Robbie works. It's a beautiful thing. I'm just joking around. I'm just trying to make people laugh. I think Ryan Loder's in this thing. But I'll tell you what, when I saw him melt to Bakoyev, I saw him get his shit rocked, turtle up, get fucking beat on, get the referee to step in, kind of look like he really got beat the fuck up and kind of quit. Yeah. After that, I was like, it's a bust. After I saw Ryan get his fucking ass beat like that, I was like, all right. Like, this guy his career could have gone to like, he's a UFC gatekeeper, and now it just got derailed. And now you can never bet on this guy. That's what I remember thinking that after I saw him get his fucking ass beat by Azamat Bakoyev. Here he's against a much better striker than him out in Qatar, a place where he probably is not, frequented. I remember I was looking to go on a cruise, and it started in Qatar, and I was like, okay, I guess Qatar's a U.S. ally, but like they do like negotiate with Hamas, so I don't really know. I know Israel like blew up a building there once. Like I don't know if I want to. So I feel like it's far away, and Ryan Loder might be a little uncomfortable. He's against the better striker. There's some reasons why I'm not going to bet on my American brother. So I know Naurdiev is not fantastic. I've seen Naurdiev have a little bit of grappling in some fights, and then generally, is shown to be a kickboxer. I'll lean on that over a guy who has a serious deficit in his striking. But I will say I see what you're saying, and I do think Ryan Loder's in this fight, and he can absolutely implement that wrestling. There's absolutely a pathway where Ryan Loder gets a hold of Naurdiev, puts him on his fours, and gets to work. That is live, but I can't bet on that.
Fair. I get it. I don't know, man. With Ryan Loder, his stand-up is never going to be a strong suit. But he was at Bangtao Muay Thai a bit leading up to this fight. He was training with Fluffy Hernandez. He was in the Fluffy Hernandez team last time. I don't know, man. I think Ryan Loder is trying to make these evolutions, whereas I'm just thinking Naurdiev, we know we can kickbox, but there's a mental lapse, bro. That illegal fucking knee against Jun Young Park. What I took away from that is a sense of carelessness. I view that as a lazy thing. Like, oh, let me just hit you in the face with a legal knee. Maybe they won't call. Like, it was so blatant, too. It's not like maybe he didn't he's got a lot of pro fights. I really just don't think Naurdiev is good. I was trying to be high on Naurdiev for a little while. I was like, all right, man, he's finally figured it out. And I just got red flags all around. I just think Loder's got more of a dog in him. Of course, his chin's not great and his striking is kind of meh, but that wrestling game of Loder, that top controller Loder, that, potential for ground and pound and, maybe his submission game sharpening up and his striking just at the very least being enough to survive against a kickboxer like Naurdiev, who he's got a big size advantage on. I'm going to go for Loder to impose his will, bro.
Let's go. Hey, I love my Americans, dog. I would love to. He could beat a Bruno Silva, but Bruno Silva, bro. He is on a terrible skid. He
retired, I think.
Yeah, thank goodness. Leon's next. And then losing to Iron Turtle. Like Iron Turtle's a dog. You get a little tired against Iron Turtle, he's gonna start getting you going downhill. So tough call for sure. It's a fight.
Respect. Loder's a plus 110 dog. Naurdiev a minus 130 favorite. I'm gonna go towards the Loder side as a slight underdog in this spot, and I'm gonna go with the American wrestling. And Finch, man, you going Naurdiev on what do you think? Knockout?
Yeah, I think so. I could just see Ryan Loder having another tough night at the office. I hope not. I hope I'm wrong.
Let's go.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope Ryan Loder picks him up and slams him on his fucking head. But I remember that season of Tough, dude. His ground and pound's not even great. He's so green, and you were hoping to see kind of his evolution in that Azamat Bakoya fight. And for him to have such a bad night out, it's not that he can't win. It's just that it's not reliable.
Respect to the Finchman side. Let's keep running. Next fight on the card. We have Beksat Almakhan versus Alexandre Topuria. Talk about matching up two blue chip prospects. Obviously, Alexandre, the brother of the great Ilya Topuria, and Beksat, UFC debut against Umar Nurmagomedov, where he dropped him early in the fight. I like both these guys. It's hard for me to pick against either one of them. I don't want to have to do. I don't want to see either one of them lose. I'm going to pick Topuria with the stipulation that he needs to hit some takedowns. If Topuria can threaten with the wrestling, I do believe that's going to open up some striking opportunities. And then I think he can get the boxing working. Now, if it's just a kickboxing fight, I like Beksat's distance striking a little bit more. I like Topuria's inside boxing a little bit more. I like that he has a similar guard and flow to his brother. And there's I guess the word, it's like, I'm going to use this and you can tell me if I'm reaching. There's like an effortlessness that comes with the way he strings punches together. It's just very natural for Alexandre. And I know he didn't knock out Kobe Thickness or have like a great performance, but he hadn't fought in a while. It was his UFC debut. There's an element to that where I'm like, I'm expecting an Alexandre Topuria more comfortable here in fight two. An active Alexandre Topuria could be a problem. Obviously, Beksat's very good, and Beksat's a legitimate test, and I think he could definitely push Alexandre. We're going to find out everything. Second UFC fight, they're like, Alexandre Topuria, here's Beksat Almakhan. That's a big fucking deal to me because Beksat is really good, destroyed former Ultimate Fighter winner, 2-time Brad Katona Ultimate Fighter winner with a destructive uppercut. This is a fight for sure. I'm going to go Topuria to win a competitive decision and beat Beksat in what should be a pretty close matchup. What do you think, Finch?
It's a fucking fun fight. You know that I bet pretty big on Beksat Almakhan against a very a very cardio machine and a definitely a decent prospect in Brad Katona. Good Canadian, but he's explosive, man. He's got these bursts of energy that he puts on people. He goes full speed and he's able to put those big hooks on people. Is that going to work against Topuria? Bro, I don't think so. I think Topuria is actually a pretty bad matchup for Beksat. I think he's going to be able to back him up. I like how Topuria puts the car in drive, kind of. You said you like how Michael Morales is heavy on the front foot. Topuria likes to do that shit too. He likes to move his head there, get real low, bend his fucking knees, and he's always on offense. His slips are real good, like his brother too, so they can keep hunting and move their head off that center line and then come back with something. A lot of people, right? You throw a punch at them, whoa, they're always exiting out the back door, right? They're always pulling away so that they can't reach you. Topuria slips and he's right there. He could reach you with something, just like his brother. So, I think Topuria is going to be able to put some hands on Beksat and put him out. Is he going to roll the dice? Yes. Beksat Almakhan is explosive as fuck on the balls of his feet. He could put people out. He lost to Umar in his debut, and then had that fantastic quick finish. I think he's going to come in pretty comfortable in the UFC now and try to bring it to Topuria. I don't think he'll be gun shy. I just think Topuria is going to crack him, dude. Topuria knockout.
I like it, Finch, man. Going Topuria by KO. I'm definitely leaning more towards the competitive decision side. -102 for Alexandre Topuria. Beksat Almakhan sitting at -118. This fight to go over 1.5 is -210. And then the fight to go distance is +160 if you think it is going longer. Knockout win for Topuria, 4-1 odds, Mike Finch.
Man, I think it's kind of sweet, It's just the way they match up, brother. Like Almakhan, he's explosive, and that's not really. I think the best way to fight Topuria is to kind of be Wonder Boy. Different weight class, but you get what I'm saying.
No, but I get the reference completely.
As to where Almakhan's kind of he just comes in there with big shit. I think Topuria is going to catch him. What's the worst car accident, right? It's when one car is going 60 and the other one's going 60 and they meet and it's 120-mile-an-hour collision. We're back to physics class, the kinetic energy. I think that these two are going to clash and that's going to be Topuria standing over the body of Beksat. I really see a KO.
Let's go. I respect the Finch man's call. We're both going towards the Topuria side, and both very likable guys. Both guys that I like a lot in this fight. May the best man win. I like Beksat Almakhan. Finch and I both were confident with him against Katona, and he destroyed him. Definitely some upside, but I think big bro Topuria, little big bro Topuria can go out and get it done. Let's go. Next fight on the card.
Cool matchup.
Hey, it is a cool matchup. Tagir Ulanbekov versus Kyoji Horiguchi. Mike Finch, I need you to break this one down first for us all. We need to hear the Finch man's take, bro. I'm curious as hell what you got here.
People are like, Kyoji Horiguchi in his UFC debut. What the fuck are you guys talking about? This ain't just some Bellator fighter. This motherfucker's been around the UFC. Kyoji Horiguchi is a elite karate specialist. His karate is fantastic. The nicest guy in the world. I worked with him for years, 2 years to be exact, at Bellator. Literally the fucking nicest guy in the world. Such a good dude. Quiet, humble, hardworking. You talk to anybody at ATT. I've talked to Mike Brown about him. I've heard Dustin Poirier talk about him. Anybody at ATT, they love the dude. I mean, Horiguchi is fantastic, and Horiguchi's a special striker. With Tagir Ulanbekov, he's going to be up against somebody who's more in their prime. I think the best days of Kyoji Horiguchi are probably behind us. This second stint in the UFC probably is at a tough start with the Tagir Ulanbekov. Has the UFC ever done this before? Have they ever brought in talent who's recently been fighting outside of the UFC? They bring them in and then they give them a tough matchup in their return or their UFC debut. Has this ever happened before? I think it has. You know, I could give you a long list of people who have to lose their first fight back or lose their first fight in the UFC to then get some favorable matchups. Tagir Ulanbekov, bro, come on. Tagir Ulanbekov's got to be able to get this thing done. He's bigger than Kyoji Horiguchi. I think, you know, him being taller, longer, having the wrestling threat. You know, Kyoji Horiguchi is such a pro that he can pace himself and slow a fight down a little bit. That would be helpful over a 5-round fight. But 3 rounds, you know, you really got to get Tagir Ulanbekov huffing and puffing, you know, because one of his Achilles heels is the cardio. I don't know that Kyoji Horiguchi is the man for the job. He's great at playing tag, but he doesn't, you know, when you get a little chaotic is actually how you make something happen against Kyoji Horiguchi. I'm thinking of, you know, Sergio Pettis finding that all-time highlight reel spinning back fist knockout, which I was there live for, which was just unbelievable. You know, you could see that Kyoji Horiguchi is really good at only finding certain moments to fight. I think Tagir Ulanbekov can last for 3 rounds with that style. So without the cardio problem, you got to give me Tagir Ulanbekov in a decision.
I'm twisted on this fight, I will say. Early lean towards Horiguchi for me yesterday because of the strike ability. And I don't know how much I'm loving these weight cuts to 25 for Tagir. Maybe as he's hitting 34, it's showing a little bit more. That last one is in my head a little bit for Ulanbekov. Against Izagakhmaev, he had a really hard time wrestling with him. And then, you know, seeing Izagakhmaev go out and fucking lose to Mitch Raposo in the fight after, I'm like, what the fuck? And even the Clayton Carpenter win, like obviously he hit some key takedowns and he pulled through, but wasn't a blow your fucking mind type performance. I don't know with Tagir. Like he looked like he was on the fucking title track, strangles Cody Durden, strangles Nate Maness. Then the past 2 have kind of sucked, if you want me to keep it real. And Tagir has had moments where he's looked stiff on the feet and he's looked a little slow. It's just Horiguchi's wrestling defense is normally very good. He's cat-like with the way that he's got bounce, but he hasn't fought, you know, a Tagir Ulanbekov. The last fights for Horiguchi are not necessarily guys that have you thinking, oh shit, he's ready for this wrestling onslaught. But to be fair, I have to say, win against, you know, the Sergio Pettis side in their rematch. But granted, Sergio Pettis, he's a striker. He ain't looking to fucking chain wrestle and beat you up Dagestan style. And then the last one for Horiguchi was the decision against Zulu. And that was a while ago, back in December of last year. So I'm going to see how the weigh-ins look. I'm going to see where my head's at, if I still feel strong on the Horiguchi side by Friday or not. I want to see how they face off. I want to see what the size difference looks like. If Horiguchi is stuck on his back, obviously there's nothing there. Now, if he can strike with Ulanbekov and then land some combinations and get up and outpace Ulanbekov, and if he's able to stop a majority of the takedowns or at the very least get back up to his feet and, you know, avoid the Dagestani control, I think Horiguchi could nab a decision. But on the flip side of it, we're also in fucking Qatar. If the fight's close, I think it's going Ulanbekov. I don't know. I'll see Friday how I feel about everything. But, you know, something led me towards the Horiguchi side yesterday. Something about his rhythm, something about his flow, something about his hand speed, and something about naturally his takedown defense rate. And especially Ulanbekov looking a little meh in the past 2. But I do feel as though we shall find out everything on Saturday between the 2. It's just, you know, you pick guys that haven't fought in the UFC in a while or have been fighting in Bellator and Ryzen, etc. You're kind of playing with fucking bad juju because it hasn't been going good lately and there's red flags around it. So, you know, Friday, I want to make sure I feel 100%. This is definitely one I want to wait till weigh-ins before making like a real strong call because I do worry about Ulanbekov's also submission threat that he brings here. And Horiguchi has been out-wrestled before, and, you know, it's not like the competition rate's been good. I was a big Horiguchi fan on UFC run #1. He's 7-1 in the UFC. You know, Horiguchi was the fucking man. Yeah. You know, beat Ali Bagautinov before leaving the UFC, and Bagautinov was a strong wrestler.
Yeah. Ryzen legend. I mean, a big deal in Bellator, of course, as I mentioned, went and got that Sergio Pettis victory, that Sergio Pettis fight back over in Ryzen. Yeah, a star in Japan. I mean, there's a lot to like. Very, very clean striking, just a technician. You love to see it. It's a little tiny Lyoto Machida. It's fantastic. But he is tiny. Like I've stood next to him. He's 5'5", there's a 5-inch reach difference between the two. So is he going to be able to control Tagir from the outside? A little bit for sure. He's hard to get to for sure. But, Tagir with the wrestling advantage, Tagir with a little more strength. Tagir is not bankrupt in striking. He could definitely strike too. He's got some nice kicks himself. A fun fight. I'll be rooting for Kyoji, man. Fucking great dude. Seriously, like good human being, and I wish him all the best. But picking fights, I think Tagir's in his prime.
You listen, you're definitely making me think good about this fight. I was thinking about it last night some more and into today. It's one of those matchups where I think there's certain points occasionally where it's like there's a sway from what once was, right? Horiguchi in his prime back in 2019. But, bro, it's 2019 Bellator. I mean, he was beating Darion Caldwell, who at the time was a bad motherfucker.
Was a good wrestler.
Real good wrestler. But, at flyweight 2025, Horiguchi, yeah, definitely. I'm a realist. I'm not afraid to admit when I feel I may have an off-kilter call, and I might be falling in love with the striking Horiguchi a bit too much. And to be fair, I also could be falling victim into the recency bias of Tagir not looking great in the past too. But like I've had Tagir as a confident pick numerous times, and he's been successful for me. So I might have to fucking sleep on this one a little bit more and reset and refresh come Friday. But I don't know. Horiguchi, it's not really even because the betting side. Like I think he could win a close decision, but as I'm saying it, it's like I want to walk it back because if it's close, it's gonna go Ulanbekov. Maybe if they fought in a ring, if they were in Ryzen, I think Horiguchi gets a fucking decision. But it's tough to say in the UFC,
They wouldn't have that cage either. Tagir's not bad on the fence, and Kyoji does a good job like pummeling an underhook and getting off the fence. But Tagir, I could see biting down on that thing, working some knees, kind of getting a quick trip, making Kyoji stand back up. Yeah, man. In Qatar, brother, I'm gonna go with the dude with no mustache and a beard.
Respect. Listen, I'm lightly getting pulled towards the side, and my pick flips, they've been hitting at a 90% clip as of late. The only one I was wrong on was Chepe's ass getting controlled. I should have just stuck with Sabatini, but
fuck, you should have, dude. I'm sorry.
No, it's not your fault. It's my fault. Listen, all of these calls, I'm thinking about them before you say. What I like is that I have these second thoughts occasionally, and I think about it. Last night as I'm going to bed, I'd be fucking tossing and turning, thinking about one random fight, and then I wake up and I still think about it all day. And then we come here, and then when you say it, I'm like, okay. So Finchman's seeing a side that I was also thinking, am I maybe off on? So I definitely think, it's good for thought. Right, for myself, and also then the banter back and forth, because to argue Horiguchi so hard, like I won't lie to you, it's hard for me. What am I saying? He's gonna win a competitive decision, stopping takedowns and landing better shots
in
dealing
Qatar.
With size in Qatar, which is fucking might be just a red flag in itself. I might be looking at a logical fallacy on that one, so I might be walking myself into a force flip.
So I mean, I do like the matchup, and I just don't think the UFC is doing Kyoji any favors by bringing him back straight away against Tagir. I think Tagir's who's going to be more comfortable in that cage. I think it's Tagir.
Respect.
So fun fight. I'm rooting for Kyoji. I know I'm picking against my fucking Americans. I mean, I know Kyoji's not American, but trains out in Florida. I got to pick with my head, not my heart.
Respect. -200 for the side of Ulanbekov, +170 Kyoji Horiguchi. And we shall see when the cage door closes. Let's keep running. Next fight on the card. Abdul Rahman Yakhyaev versus Rafael Cerqueira. I mean, if this isn't a squash match, I don't know what is. To be fair, though, Cerqueira went long against Julius Walker and had some striking moments, but he's got pretty bad takedown defense. I think his chin's a little bit mid, too, and just Julius Walker isn't really a precise boxer. He's more of just like a pressure fighter. Yakhyaev's got power on the feet. He's got a submission game. If Yakhyaev doesn't beat him under a round and a half, I think that's a loss for me in itself, man. I think Abdul should fucking destroy Cerqueira. I don't even think Cerqueira should necessarily still be on the roster, but I think it's because he showed some stones last fight. They're bringing him back for one more. They're using him as an absolute tomato can and a stepping stone for Yakhyaev inside the distance.
Chris Moitinho, is that you? I can't quite see. Is that Chris Moitinho? Oh, it's Cerqueira. Oh, shit, Cerqueira. My bad, Cerqueira. I couldn't tell. You know, if you dyed the hair, I couldn't tell. Yeah, Yakhyaev should be able to put him out, man. He finishes fights. He finishes fights quickly. I'd be surprised if this thing made it out of the first round. You know, I think that Yakhyaev knockout is highly likely.
I think what could be the contrarian side is Yakhyaev gets the sub. Yakhyaev, the path of least resistance, right? Because I don't think Cerqueira is good on the ground. I think he's bankrupt there. And on the feet, he's not very good either. Yakhyaev could definitely shut his lights off with punches. But I'm looking at it as 2-1 money for the submission call versus -160 for the knockout. I think Yakhyaev's got a chance to club and sub or potentially even just take Cerqueira down and just smash into Cerqueira, just kind of giving him a neck and saying, fuck this, I'm out of here.
Yeah, I hear you. I think that's a definite pathway, you know, because Cerqueira has maybe a little bit of power, you know, so maybe he wants to avoid that. That's not crazy. I'm going to avoid talking about how I want to bet on this thing, but I think there's a way around your problem there. You know,
yeah.
You could bet this thing inside distance, I think.
8-1 inside distance, -800. Yeah. The way around, if there was, I know there's not really a way around. You could go under 1.5, -250. I don't know what Yakhyaev round 1 is yet, but I do think Yakhyaev round 1 is really live.
Damn. Yeah, you know, they like to price you out of sure things. Let's be honest, there are no sure things in mixed martial arts. We all should know this, right? Only bet what you're willing to lose, guys. You know, you got to know what this game is. But I think it's highly likely that Yakhyaev gets him out of there the first round. I do.
Yeah, I think so. And he's a -1400 money line, which is why the prop side of things was more the focus of the odds look, because, you know, you ain't doing nothing but -1400. Let's keep running. Next fight on the card, we have Bogdan Grad versus Luke Riley. I'm picking the side of Luke Riley to pull this one off against Bogdan Grad. Luke Riley is a high volume pressure boxer who rips shots beautifully and likes to engage in wars. He's been knocked down. He's got one of the best Cage Warriors fights ever. You can watch it on YouTube. I look at Bogdan Grad and I think, okay, he's got power. He's strong. He's got some kicking skills.
Yeah.
But I think where he struggles is the volume boxing of Luke Riley. I think Riley can make it a bit of a war. And I think in a striking war, in punch range, Riley's going to have the sharper hands. And I think with the bigger and better punches, I think Riley pulls out a knockout win. I know Bogdan Grad just went distance against Muhammad Naimov, and, you know, there's the element of, oh, he even took Naimov down. But that Tom Nolan knockout loss is always just, you know, printed right here. I picked Lucas Alexander against Bogdan Grad. I am not a big Bogdan Grad believer. I thought Lucas Alexander could have knocked him out, but he melted. I think Luke Riley's going to chin Bogdan Grad in this one. Knockout.
Dang. Yeah, this kid's kind of got balls. Like, he's got a fun style for sure. But when I'm watching him grapple against guys who are not good at grappling, I'm not impressed. Like, I'm watching him hand fight on the fence. I'm doing like tape study today, right? I'm watching him hand fight on the fence. He's got the hand, and then he like lets it go, and he like uses the back of his hand. I'm like, the fuck? Like, there's no like clear-cut game, you know, that Riley has with his stand-ups and whatnot. It was all pretty basic. Like, I've seen this on the UFC before, I think. As to where with Bogdan Grad, bro, like you said, he's stronger. He's a man. It's a man versus a boy. You know, Riley is built like he didn't get the tit. He got the fucking the formula. You know what I mean? He doesn't have the bones. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
he's a soy boy. Is that the modern term?
Shit.
You know, yeah, as Joey Coco Diaz would say, he eats Subway, dog. You need the Jersey Mike's, dog, not the Subway. You know, he eats Subway. You know, as to where Grad eats Jersey Mike's. He's got all the extra oil and shit on there with all the seasonings. You had Jersey Mike's?
It's way better. I fully agree. Jersey Mike's is the shit. There's not even a Subway is a fucking is like getting a school lunch versus Jersey Mike's. You know what I'm saying? Remember that premium school lunch at school that you could get, or you could get the garbage. This got premium school lunch. We got the trash. I fully understand.
Yeah. They killed that hog out back, bro. They're cutting that motherfucker up in front of me, homie. You know, they're ripping the legs off and shit. Not a sponsor of the show. I think Bogdan Grad's gonna get on top of this fucking kid. I think he's gonna get out there. AJ's right. Bogdan Grad's not that good. Bogdan Grad is not fast. This kid's way faster. This kid's way slicker on the feet. He's going to be a little bit slippery. But you see how like Bogdan Grad will get a takedown just by catching a kick and just fucking banging a right hand. He's just a strong man. And he's got a little bit of fight IQ. And I think that's going to be enough against this debuting kid. I mean, how many Cage Warriors guys do we need to see come in here and get fucked up? How many? I'm going Bogdan Grad.
Woo, the Finch man. Respect on the underdog call. Luke Riley is a training partner, as is Shamrock. Training partner of Patty the Batty, bro. Okay. So I think the grappling defense, it's going to get better each fight. I can see what you're saying, though. Bogdan Grad is a fucking jacked little gremlin. And if he just embraces the grind and wrestles, Luke Riley definitely does have some sus takedown defense. I look at it like this. I like Luke Riley by KO. And I think that him sitting at a minus 250 favorite for a debut doesn't make much sense here. I think this fight is a lot closer than that. Like, okay, if you said it was minus 135 plus 115, I'm like, yeah. So I look at, if you're looking at the value on, Bogdan Grad, who's got a chance, he's a plus 210 underdog, Mike Finch. So if you like that side, I mean, you got a live dog in Bogdan Grad. The chin worries me a little, but he's definitely strong. He definitely can wrestle.
I don't think Riley's like this like one punch terror. When the show starts, the hardest puncher, MMA, Francis Ngannou, right? I think even if Riley hits him, Bogdan Grad's gonna bite on his mouthpiece and find a way through it. I think he gets on top. I think he gets the decision. I think those odds are too wide.
Let's go. Finch man with the savage call. Respect. He's going for the savage underdog, Bogdan Grad, to handle business. I really have to say I got nothing but respect for it, man. W to the Finch.
Bogdan Grad, I know.
Yeah. No, I respect it though. Listen, I don't think you're crazy. I think that Riley's overly wide as a favorite, and it's one of those potential traps, seeing him get cracked, and then, if he's taken down and he's grinded out. It's just, I like the boxing a lot, but he's got to be fucking on 2 feet to throw punches. So if he's on his back, I think he could find himself definitely in trouble here with Bogdan.
It's a double whammy, bro. It's like First off, he's soy and looks like an 8th grader. And then the second problem is he doesn't have the technique. Like, I'm not seeing when he's on the fence contesting takedowns by guys who I'm kind of going ham today, but suck at takedowns at Cage Warriors. Like, bro, there ain't nobody wrestling in Cage Warriors, dude. Cage Warriors is all about like, who's the best kickboxer who could pretend like they took some grappling classes, over and fucking double it, and they took a Craig Jones fucking seminar one time, versus, like you get to the UFC and the grappling is pretty goddamn high level. If you're not ready to go a hard, fast pace with somebody who's gonna be real strong on the fence, rip your legs out from under you, stack you on your hands, fucking, give you some ground and pound, you're gonna have to work. You better know how to fight the hands. You better know how to jack up an underhook. You better know how to use a whizzer. You better know how to use a kazushi. I don't even know if Riley's heard of a kazushi. And I'm saying that because I'm watching him question himself as he's standing up on where to grip. This ain't the place to learn. I think he loses this decision.
Respect. Finchman's a savage. Voice of MMA. Thank you for $9.99. Currently on BSD versus Dariush. Whaley bounced on the outside like Michael Chandler. Thanks for the shout out, Mike. AW, man.
I got you, Kayvon. I got you. Yeah. But you know, she doesn't. Michael Chandler throws that. You know, Whaley's at least throwing that. But yeah, Voice of MMA was absolutely dunking on Whaley today. Thank you for the $10, brother.
Let's go. Thank you, brother, man. Let's keep on running. Let's jump to the main card. If you guys haven't hit the like button, I ask you this question. Why the hell not? Run the likes up. If it's your first time watching the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button too. We got Alex Perez versus Asu Almabayev. I love this matchup because there is the question of how is Alex Perez going to look after the knee injury and the long layoff, you know, a year and 4 months. At one point, I mean, this is a guy that fought for the world title, and he's only lost to some of the best in the world. He also did pull out of a fight in August against Steve Erceg with an injury. So it's been an injury-prone Perez taking on Asu Almabayev, a strong wrestler, and we're also in Qatar. I'm picking Asu Almabayev to win a decision. I think he's going to be able to out-wrestle Alex Perez, put some pressure on him. But I must say, I like Alex Perez's stand-up. Alex Perez puts good pressure on people, and he can rip some nice punches, and he's got heavy calf kicks. I think Asu Almabayev is pretty good, though. I mean, let's not write him off because he lost to fucking Manel Kape, you know? Asu Almabayev has the takedown threat. I think he's going to be able to pressure Alex Perez. I don't know how Perez's mobility is going to be after that bad knee injury and now being out for a while. Ring rust is a factor. And they said, hey, we're sending you to Qatar, Alex Perez. Everything's against Alex Perez in this fight, dude. I cannot pick an Alex Perez side, even though I like Alex Perez. And I think that he's a tough customer for anybody in the top 15. It's just Asu Almabayev should be smart here. Embrace the grind. Land the takedown, strike him a little bit. Yo, Almabayev got an educated jab. He's not just a grappler. He can throw some punches. He's not a sharp knockout hitter. Yeah. And Perez, though, he's more of a whipping puncher, so I think he could even get stung by the jab into takedown attempts by Almabayev. So I'm going to go with the superior wrestling threat. I think Almabayev is positionally sound and wins a hard-fought decision. They go all three. It's a decent fight, and Almabayev should get it on the cards.
I know you like Alex Perez and his Mexican style, so I'm glad to hear you. I'm glad to hear you use your senses and pick Almabayev here. You know, Almabayev's wrestling is just too much, brother. I think he's going to close the distance. You know, this ain't Manel Kape. This is going to be a person that he can get a hold of. There is a kick threat. You know, there's a little bit of a threat approaching Perez, but after he gets past the first couple minutes, I think it's going to be smooth sailing for Almabayev. He's going to keep Matt returning him, bringing him back down. Might strangle him, dude. Almabayev will start beating his ass by the second round.
I completely agree, Mike Finch. I think Almabayev should go out and do his thing. Now, I will say, I think there's a real chance, though, that we're looking at 3 rounds of work between the two. I feel as though maybe an over 2.5 is live in this spot. I don't know what your thoughts are on that. It's -190. Almabayev a bit of a favorite, as he certainly should be. And FightOdds.io is fucking not loading for me. What the hell? Here we go. We're back.
You got my Wi-Fi, bro.
I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know. FightOdds just told me to go F myself. They said, listen, bro, you use us all the time. We're sick of your bullshit. That's crazy. That's crazy. What the fuck is that? There we go. We're back. All right. We got the odds here. We got the odds slate. I think that Asu Almabayev by decision makes a lot of sense here, Mike Finch. At -200, I think makes sense that he handles business. Over 2.5 at -190. You got +100 Almabayev by decision. I don't think that's a crazy take at all.
Yeah, whether or not it finishes is my question here. You know, Perez not bad at jiu-jitsu, but I think he's getting controlled. You know, Almabayev should be looking for a finish. Like, a decision over Perez really isn't impressive. You know, he really should be trying to get him out of there. I think after Saturday night, Dana White's not trying to reward people who are just going to hold and pin, you know. And Dana White loves Islam Makhachev, you know, and Islam is generally an exciting fighter. So this is not an attack on Islam Makhachev. This is, it sounded worse, right? I was like, attack on Christianity. You know,
he's in trouble.
Don't clip that. I think that the decision is also likely. So a Almabayev, just as an Almabayev victory is my call. I can't really tell if he's going to finish him or not. If he does finish him, it would be smart to tire him out. So it might be late. That would be maybe my call. If it finishes, let's say it's third round.
I think I'm going to trust in the fact that we're going all three. I like over 2.5, but I respect the third round call. Almabayev to win in round 3. If you're feeling like a degen though, it's plus 1200 just to read it off.
AJ always trying to get me to bite at some shit. You know, he's like, hey man, just so you know, you get 12 times your money if you put your money on that fucking play you just said you thought was the most likely outcome. Son of a bitch. You know how I bet.
No, listen, that's a good strategy. It's just an idea. Just an idea. I look like Clay Guida. When did Clay Guida started doing YouTube? Well,
dang.
Listen, I shifted to the MMA YouTube game after some of the rougher fights at the end of the career.
I know Clay Guida pretty well. Clay Guida, used to come by and coach wrestling at my high school. And, I saw him back way before he was in the UFC, in the XFO, him and his brother fought and whatnot. AJ has the exact opposite skin of Clay Guida. If you meet Clay Guida in person, his skin looks like it's leather. You're like, this motherfucker doesn't get cut, huh? Like, you cannot slice this fucking caveman. AJ, you got this fucking... how do you live in Florida? Where's the tan? Like it looks so
when you live in Florida, man, it's like, you got streams to do, bro. I got things to get done. I don't got time to be tanning, bro. I'm fucking doing content 24/7, bro.
Jesus, bro. Get this guy outside.
I might go for a walk tomorrow just for you.
Come on, AJ. Get that sun, dude. Yeah, I think I've never heard the Clay Guida reference, but I like it.
Yeah, W, bro. Thanks for the Clay Guida reference. We're both going Almabayev. He should handle business here and beat Alex Perez. Let's keep running. Next fight on the card, Serghei Spivac versus Shamil Gaziev. I'm going with the Gaziev side. I like Lord Blob. I think that his hands are going to be fast here for Spivac. I think he can stop some of the Spivac wrestling onslaught. He's the better striker. Of course, Spivac on top, if he can plant himself in top position and, just embrace the grind a bit and maybe threaten with some ground and pound and subs. But I think Shamil Gaziev is getting better. I don't know. Since the debut, I've seen some improvements. I feel like last time, he knocked Peterson out pretty good. Granted, it's Thomas Peterson. Fight before that shut down Dontel Mays. It wasn't a sensational win, but it still was a win nonetheless. Serghei Spivac's definitely got a legit submission game, especially from top, and he definitely can wrestle. But I could see Gaziev catching him with some punches. Spivac's chin is a little suspect. He's been knocked out a couple of times. I like Gaziev's hand speed. I'm going to go with the Bahrain Dagestani and Shamil Gaziev to be a little sharper with punches and pull this one off. And and potential for a knockout too between the big boys.
Bro, your whole take, I had to go look up the movie because I hadn't seen the movie in so fucking long. Shamil Gaziev is Flubber. You ever seen Flubber?
Let's look it up.
the green mushy
holy
thing.
Shit. That's great.
Yeah. With Robin Williams. Holy shit. I'm going Flubber, dude. I feel like Flubber's got the thing. I think Flubber is gonna outbox Spivac, bro. And Spivac's got a nice armbar from bottom. I think honestly that could be like his best bet. Like kind of not doing so well early. Shamil ends up on top of him and he traps that arm and he wraps those legs around the head and gets an armbar. But I think that's unlikely. I think Shamil Gaziev is going to be able to throw his hands. He's getting more confident in his hands. He's actually got a little bit of hand speed for a cave monster. And I think that he's going to be able to make that work against a Serghei Spivac who does not have the best defensive boxing. His head kind of is up there on a pike to be hit. And I can imagine Shamil putting him on his ass. So give me Shamil Gaziev via TKO. Actually, I think Flubber is going to get him out of there.
Let's go. Finchman and I both are on Shamil Gaziev. And I like that we're both thinking the KO is live. I feel like he's starting to put it together. I think, you look at Gaziev's losses too, or at least his one loss. it's against Jarzinho Rosenstruik, who's a world-class kickboxer. And yeah, he got shut down. Spivac is more of a grappling pressure threat. I think Gaziev's takedown defense should hold up pretty good. I think the Gaziev hand speed is going to be a factor. And I think Serghei Spivac is probably getting put out. I don't see a knockout prop yet, but I know that Gaziev is a minus 135 favorite to Spivac sitting at plus 115. We'll go Gaziev to pull through, Mike Finch. I'm with it, bro. I'm glad we're on the same side here. I was wondering if you were going Spivac or Gaziev. This is one I was definitely thinking about.
Spivac, I could just see more like a Hail Mary, I could see he gets a position, he's able to work with it. As to where with Shamil Gaziev, first off, I like that it's in Qatar for Shamil Gaziev. He keeps getting these fights on that side of the world. Of course, this is the first UFC event in Qatar, but I think you catch my flow here. And Shamil Gaziev is, as far as heavyweights are concerned, an actual force to be reckoned with in the UFC. So he might not look like a pro athlete, but he is one. Flubber KO.
Flubber KO. I'm excited to see what Shamil looks like, but I definitely think he's going to have the hands to handle Serghei Spivac. Finch and I both going Shamil Gaziev, Lord Blob, a.k.a. Flubber, to get it done. And let's keep running. Next fight, we have welterweight Jack Hermansson making the cut at 37 versus Mitabek Orolbai. Finch, I must tell you, I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is the worst career decision for Jack Hermansson possible. I understand that there's a thought process that, okay, well, things are not going great at middleweight. I just got knocked out by RoboCop. Let me shred down and let me lose all this weight and try to fight smaller guys. But I think the advantages that he had up in weight were his technicality and striking and his skill set and grappling that was pretty sharp for, a good size middleweight. But now dropping down, fighting Mitabek Orolbai, it seems like this is kind of a recipe for disaster here. Orolbai now at 170, proper weight class. Orolbai at 155 was killing himself to make the weight. And we saw last time at 165. He took Tofik Mosayev down and fucking Kimura'd him quick. We've seen Orolbai at 170 pounds before. Uros Medic, who did fantastic work against Salakov, he fucking destroyed him on the ground, made it look easy. Mitabek Orolbai is a bit of a monster at 170. Right? I think that Mitabek Orolbai is a lot better at 170. And I feel as though, the mentality is let's cut all this weight off. Let's try to do something down in weight at 155 pounds. But he gasses a little bit at 55 and he becomes all grit, but it stifles his skill set. I think Orolbai is a lot better than he's shown at 155 pounds, like even the Elves Brenner fight or the Rebeshki fight. But I look at Orolbai in a matchup against Hermansson, an emaciated Hermansson at 170 pounds. Like, I think Orolbai is too fast. The wrestling is going to probably work here. I think Jack Hermansson could definitely get finished. I don't know how he's going to look at 170. At 37, this just doesn't seem like a great idea. It's not like Jack Hermansson was a welterweight that moved up to middleweight and now he's going back down. Like, he's been a decent-sized middleweight his whole career. 2 fights ago, he beat Joe Pyfer by a decision. And then RoboCop knocks him out and he decides, hey, let's shred the weight off. I think Hermansson's towards that final run. I think that they're looking for some magic, but it's the opposite here. And I think we're going to see Mitabek Orolbai go out and show out. And I think he's actually live to finish Jack Hermansson. Potential submission for Orolbai on the table or even ground and pound. I could see Hermansson fatiguing bad here. It's not like it's even just a 10-pound cut, bro. Like 185 to 170 is kind of fucking crazy for Jack Hermansson, who has a fucking shredded six-pack. It'd be one thing if he was a little pudgy and we're like, I could see that working for him. But he looks like a fairly large middleweight to now turn into a welterweight. I just think this is a bad move. So I'm going with Mitabek Orolbai all day here.
Yeah, Jack Hermansson's tall, 6'1", and an entire career at middleweight, and then at 37, you're going to drop weight. There's this thought that's always been around, which is, hey, I'm having trouble at this weight class. I'll reinvent myself. I'll drop weight. I'm going to be able to weight bully people. It's going to be fantastic. And you know, there are advantages and disadvantages going up and down. You know, you just saw a very smooth transition up with Islam Makhachev and a very rocky transition up with Wei Li. And so, you know, there are problems. And I think that the problem here is, how the fuck do we know what type of gas tank Jack Hermansson's going to have? And AJ put his finger on it, that there's going to be, you know, a real risk that we see Jack Hermansson get gassed out. Now, Jack Hermansson's submission grappling is pretty fucking impressive. You know, he was able to heel hook Kelvin Gastelum.
Yeah.
I trained with Kelvin for that camp, by the way.
That's cool.
Sorry, we didn't train heel hooks. That wasn't my fault. He's very you know, very tall for 170, 6'1", you know, kind of a rangy kickboxer, but sort of easy to find. Keeps the elbows in and the hands high, but there's not a lot of dynamics to that striking game. You can kind of get to him. So I think Orolbai like won't be out of sorts on the feet. And then Orolbai's wrestling is really strong, you know. His father is Genghis Khan. So, I mean, he definitely draws from a serious, you know, bloodline. And I think that he's going to be able to get a hold of Jack Hermansson and create exchanges where Jack's going to have to work hard. Does he submit him, AJ? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say Jack Hermansson does make it to the final bell. And I do want to point out, I think you went over it well, so I don't mean to repeat you, but, you know, we got a guy who's fought at lightweight in Orolbai versus a guy who's a career middleweight. So them meeting in the middle, like, it will be a little bizarre of a fight. So I can't say I'm as confident in Orolbai maybe as you are, but I don't like a 37-year-old who's a big middleweight cutting down to 170. Red flags all over the place. Give me Orolbai winning rounds 2 and 3 on the scorecards.
Orolbai for the win for us both. As far as money lines, Mitabek Orolbai is going to be the favorite in this spot. He's sitting around the minus 240 range, actually, with Jack Hermansson as a pretty big underdog at plus 205. Yeah, the Orolbai side is the side for me, bro. I'm going Orolbai. I really believe Orolbai handles. I don't like Jack Hermansson at 170. If this was 185, it's a different conversation, but I just don't get it. It's not like Jack Hermansson's a guy that wasn't shredded, so he's lost muscle. We're going to have, you know, Jack Hermansson shredded down. This is a bit of an maybe obscure example, but TJ Dillashaw at 125 versus Henry Cejudo looked fucking awful. If you run that fight at 135, that's really competitive. Like, that could end up going either way. We could have Jack Hermansson here, just, you know, his chin, he got knocked out bad last time. The chin, not saying it's gone, but let's cut 15 pounds off. It definitely ain't getting stronger here at 170. Not that Orolbai is necessarily a rocket with his punches, but he does have decent straight shots and he can kickbox a bit. I just think too much of a worry with Hermansson coming into this one. I just don't love the weight cut. I think it's a mistake. I think it's a mistake, man. I think Jack Hermansson losing this extra weight, looking to reinvent himself, ends up getting, you know, outdogged by Mitabek Orolbai. Yeah.
And Orolbai is a dog. Jack Hermansson's tough, bro. He's never been an elite athlete. So like, he was never like very fast, and now you're going to be at 170. Like, bro, even if you said it's average speed at middleweight, which I think might be a little generous for Jack, now you're going to go to 170 speed. I think Orolbai is going to feel like, this guy's slow. I can get to work on this guy. I would not be surprised to see Orolbai finding some success on the feet too. So let's go him on the cards.
Let's go. Finch and I both going Orolbai for the W. Let's jump to the featured fight of the night. It's Volkan Oezdemir versus Alonzo Menifield. Volkan Oezdemir is still relevant. I think Volkan Oezdemir is going to knock Alonzo Menifield out. Big boxing advantage here. Oezdemir can rip some punches. I mean, the knockout of Johnny Walker was sensational. Alonzo Menifield, he's a little bit of a wild puncher. He's coming off 2 wins. He beat Julius Walker on a split decision, which wasn't really that impressive. And he shut down Umar Sy, who's a decent prospect, a grappler, though. Bad losses, though, to strikers. Carlos Ulberg, 14 seconds. Azamat Murzakanov, violent second-round KO. Now, big puncher Volkan Oezdemir. I think Volkan Oezdemir is going to sleep Alonzo Menifield here. I mean, he just is coming off of a clear loss to Carlos Ulberg, but he went the distance. You look at some of Volkan Oezdemir's wins, I think they still demand respect. Johnny Walker and Bogdan Gushkov. And it's not like he's bankrupt on the ground. Volkan was able to submit Bogdan Gushkov. He actually has a pretty legit grappling game too. Volkan Oezdemir is a dangerous customer, and I think Alonzo Menifield, more of the wild athlete, not necessarily a technician. At times he likes that standing hammer fist, will get a little crazy with punches. I think Volkan Oezdemir should be able to find the kill shot, and I think he's knocking Alonzo out here. I think Oezdemir gets it done all day. I really think knockouts coming in.
Alonzo Menifield, his defense isn't good enough to stay away from a Volkan Oezdemir. Volkan Oezdemir can crack, dog, and he's fought way better competition than Alonzo Menifield has. You know, look at the losses. I mean, the last loss was to Carlos fucking Ulberg, who, by the way, slept Dominic Reyes. What did he do? He went to a decision with Volkan Oezdemir. You know, the Johnny Walker KO, Bogdan Gushkov. These guys are, I probably pick them over Alonzo Menifield too. You know, Alonzo Menifield definitely has power. He did get that awesome victory over Umar Sy. How much of a dog was he? Let me see here. Plus 500. So wicked upset for him. Like, you got to give credit where credit's due. It was a you know what the kids say, fraud check. He got fraud checked, and Menifield maybe did give him the fraud check, but this ain't no fraud here. This is a proven UFC veteran. I remember when Volkan Oezdemir was first coming to the UFC, and Daniel Cormier gave him a warm welcome. It's been a long time. It's been a lot of fights. He's seen the division. We know where he's at, and I think he's going to knock out Alonzo Menifield. I do.
You know, it's unfortunate, right? Because Volkan's got an ugly UFC record, 8 wins, 7 losses, but there's been good moments, man. I mean, he fought for the belt, lost to Daniel Cormier, ultimately lost to a prime Anthony Smith too. The fight after that, it was a split decision against Reyes that he lost, but arguably he won that fight against Dom Reyes years ago, and, you know, got knocked out by Yuri Prohashka and lost to Ankalaev, Krylov, and Ulberg. But there's been decent wins in the mix. The last 2 wins have been pretty nice, and I feel like Volkan Oezdemir, I guess I'd say he's still pretty sharp. I mean, he's 2 years younger than Alonzo Menifield too, so 36 versus 38. I think Volkan's still got some fire left. The issue is with Volkan, he can't fight stateside. He can't fight in America. He's banned from the USA. At least the last time I heard, he can't come to America because of some legal issues, and he hasn't fought in nearly a year. You know, he's been fighting, you know, 1 or 2 times a year, so it's not like
Trump. This is Dana White. Yeah, hey, I need to get Volkan Oezdemir into the United States. Could you help me out with that? He's got him. You know, one phone call. It's one phone call to the Don, and it's a wrap. Executive order. Volkan Oezdemir.
He needs a win streak. He needs a win streak. He knocks out Menifield. We're talking.
Volkan Oezdemir is no champion, but look at his fucking schedule. Like, who's had a harder schedule at 205, dude? You know, I mean, he's fought everybody. So you got to give credit, you know, to Volkan Oezdemir. Yeah, even though the record isn't pretty, when you dig deep, like those last couple wins he's got, bro, they don't do him any favors, and he comes through in plenty of the time, 8 times. So I think it'll be 9.
Yeah, I agree. I think so too. And I remember his debut, the split decision with OSP. I could have went either way, close, but went out there and, you know, went on a run after that. I think Oezdemir still got some nice wins coming, and he's not a crazy favorite at -230, bit wide, but, you know, understandably so. Knockout is still plus money at plus 140, and I think it's live.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Alonzo Menifield defensively, bro, it's a problem. You know, offensively, like, he's dangerous, right? We know that. He hits hard. He puts the fear of God in people, or Allah in Qatar. I think with Volkan Oezdemir, you're seeing a guy who's a bit more savvy. He's going to be able to put some shots on Alonzo Menifield. Alonzo Menifield's going to start putting that high guard up and backing up, and it'll just be downhill, dude. I think Volkan Oezdemir is going to beat his ass.
Let's go. Finch and I both going Volkan Oezdemir, domination, destruction, and live for the KO. Let's get to the co-main event. Bilal Muhammad versus Ian Machado Garry. It would be wrong of me not to have the Mike Finch take for this first. So Finch, man, give us your breakdown.
Let's fucking go, kids. I see all you motherfuckers out there talking about all this hype on Ian Garry. Well, guess what, bitches? I've been doing this for a while. I remember all of you talking all this shit. Yeah, all these dudes are fucking his wife. This guy's a bitch. He's gonna lose to, everybody talking all this shit. He has a decent fight with Shavkat Rakhmonov that he loses. He out wrestles Carlos Prates. I think I'm missing a fight in there. And now
Carlos Prates too, though, to be fair.
Yeah.
With the threat of takedown, Prates had to think a bit, but he looked sharp in the feet. I want to give him some credit there. Not to interrupt you. Sorry, Finch. Sorry, I'm fucking.
It's true, but he pitter patters, and it's like, so now we're looking at Bilal Muhammad, right? And everybody is the exact fucking opposite with Bilal. When Bilal was champ, he's going to run over Jack Della. Oh my God. Finch, you're a fool for picking Jack Della over Bilal. Now Bilal loses to Jack Della, and now you guys are like, he's a bum. He's 37. He's washed up. No, he's not even going to be able to touch Ian Garry. He beat prime Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. He's beaten, the list of strikers that Bilal Muhammad's been able to beat. We're talking about a man with hands like Canelo Alvarez. AJ, are you aware? Sarcasm for the people who aren't catching that reference. Shout out to Horatio, his boxing coach, who I think originated that. Horatio, I think a lot of the Bilal Muhammad hate has to do with you calling him Canelo Alvarez, okay? Don't fucking compare. You notice how, like, when Tom Aspinall gets the Muhammad Ali comparison, he goes, no. They're like, does that make sense to you? He goes, no. And that's how you fucking handle it. You don't embrace it and compare yourself to the best Mexican boxer in the world. You goons. I've seen the journey of Bilal. AJ knows I've made a bunch of money betting on Bilal. Bet him all the way up to that fucking title. Bilal Muhammad has insane cardio. So how dare they make this a 3-round fight? These motherfuckers made this thing a 3-round fight. It really throws it up in the air for me, dude. I absolutely believe in a 5-round fight. I'm betting on Bilal Muhammad. In a 3-round fight, he's really going to have to make it happen. Ian Garry, to give him credit, he's elusive. He moves side to side well. He's hard to get a hold of. But Bilal, especially as he's gone on, like he showed it in the Sean Brady fight. He showed it against Leon Edwards in spades. He can really put the fucking pressure on you. He could really walk you down and back you up. And when he's doing that, he's pretty goddamn good because he's very physically strong. AJ knows I've grappled with Bilal Muhammad before he was quite as jacked as he is now. And, seeing his evolution in his grappling, shout out to Lewis Taylor, Mike Cannon, their whole team there. And, he's gone to train with Islam Makhachev under Khabib. You could see the level of grappling just go up and up and up. I grappled with Bilal when he was a purple belt. You could see it in the cage, man. He is a lot better than in Ian Garry in the wrestling department. Ian Garry's got good takedown defense. He's going to give him a run for his money, but I think Bilal can back him up to that fence. People underrate his boxing. It's not Canelo Alvarez, but he does have a high output. He's snapping shit at you. His hands come back to his face. His knees are bent. His chin isn't always tucked, but he's moving forward. I think he's going to march Ian Garry down to that fence, rip his fucking legs out, get to a single hook, far wrist grip. You might want to call it the Dagestani handcuff if you want to, and rip shots on Ian Garry and beat his ass up. I think that Bilal Muhammad will be able to get to positions and beat up an Ian Garry. Ian Garry probably will stand up. He'll probably, land a couple shots on the feet, but I don't think Bilal's done. I really don't. I'm going to take Bilal Muhammad via decision.
Respect. The Finch man going Bilal on the comeback. I'm going Ian Garry, Mike Finch. And the reason I like Ian Garry is he's a guy that he fights pretty well moving backwards and laterally. I think with the big cage, that's going to be nice for him. A little distance strike advantage. Feel like we're going to see Ian Garry fairly sharp from distance. I think Belal might have a hard time getting to the legs of Garry. Of course, against the cage is good work. We're not at the apex, you know? If we're at the apex, I think there's more of a chance that Belal could get to him. But I'm with you. His best weapon is cardio. If we're talking 5 rounds, I might be standing there with you saying, I think he can nab 3 out of the 5. The problem is in a 3-round fight, there's not the worry of Garry gassing. And that's when Belal does his best work is if he's pushing a 5-round fight, you know, forcing Garry back, those body shots early against the cage, holding him, hitting when knees. There's elements that matter, even if he's losing rounds. Yeah. But in a 3-round affair, he wins the 3rd dominantly. It doesn't matter, right? He still lost the first 2. I really think Ian Garry is going to be hard for Belal to track down. I think we saw Jack Della's evasiveness with a lot of the takedowns against Belal. And I don't think that Jack Della has the footwork that Ian Machado Garry has. And he definitely doesn't have the length that Ian Machado Garry has. I think Ian Machado Garry is going to win a unanimous decision here. I think he's going to be able to nab at least 2 out of the 3 rounds. I think his striking is going to be pretty sharp from range. I like his shots from distance. I like the ability to fight going backwards and circle and probably stay off the cage. I like the takedown defense rate. I like the fact that he trains with Shoot Their Box and works with Damian Maia. There's a lot of positives with the guys that he works with to aid into the grappling defense. And I think that speed advantage over Belal is going to be a big difference maker. And in a 3-round fight, I think Ian Machado Garry, this fight is, don't misinterpret. This fight is not scripted, but it's sculpted for Ian Machado Garry to get a decision win. They are setting him up here with a 3-round fight against Belal Muhammad. And I think that Ian Machado Garry is going to show out in this one. And I think he's able to outwork Belal to a unanimous decision win, man. I really feel like the Belal side gets a decision W.
Wait a second. You just said Belal gets the decision? Did I just hear that?
Did I say Belal? I say Ian Machado Garry. Knock on wood. Holy shit.
We got him again, motherfucker.
Shit.
We got his ass again. In a 5-round fight.
Different. It's a whole different matchup.
Yeah, I exactly. And we deeply agree on that. So, but Bilal's got fight IQ, bro. He understands it's 3 rounds, and that's how he got to that fucking belt. You know, that run he went on, getting to that belt after, you know, getting stabbed in the eye pretty gruesomely and crying against Leon Edwards before Leon was bald. He went on this crazy one. Damian Maia, Wonderboy Thompson, rangy striker. Again, like he's beating Wonderboy in 2021. I think Bilal's better now than he was then in 2021. I think he does well against rangy strikers. You know, he puts a lot of pressure on Damian Maia. Vicente Luque, tall striker, he beats. Sean Brady, he put a ton of pressure on. I know Sean Brady's built like a fire hydrant, but and then Leon Edwards is like another great example of like this long kickboxer who just got walked the fuck down and beat the fuck up. He needs to go out there and fight. I almost called him Shavkat. It's like you know, you fight somebody and you absorb them in your Pokeball. I think that Belal Muhammad is going to be a terrible reference. I think Belal Muhammad is going to dictate where the fight takes place, and that matters a lot here. If Ian Garry's on the defense, Ian Garry's losing this decision. Because it's 3 rounds, like, yeah, I could, there is a path for Ian Garry, that's for sure. I'm going to go Belal. I think he gets 2 out of 3. He's going to get these takedowns, AJ.
Let's go. Respect on the Finch, man. He's got balls. He's going plus 195 underdog. Belal Muhammad, Ian Garry, the minus 230 favorite. I do think this fight's live to go over 2.5 at minus 300, but I really am feeling this Ian Garry side, man. I have to tell you, Finch, I really do. I think that he's going to stick him with some shots from range. I think he's going to be hard to track down. And I got to say, my issue with Belal, too, is the top control. He's got good takedowns. Doesn't have the best control in the game. You know, if guys do find their way back up, and then he hits another takedown, but only 3 rounds. Ian Garry lands a couple shots. Things can start to shift. And
Belal's a big fucking Merab Divashvili, you know? I always say Merab's last name wrong. Hit me with it.
Divalishvili.
Merab fucking corrects me. Yeah, Divalishvili. I think, you know, he's just able to, he's got the gas tank for it. It works for him, you know? And if he doesn't hit the takedowns, his fence control is, he's active. Like, Belal understands how to make it MMA, right? He's not just out there wrestling. People don't know this, but Belal Muhammad's not some decorated wrestler. He's a high school wrestler. He's like a local Illinois high school wrestler. But his wrestling coach, Lewis Taylor, won the $1 million PFL tournament. And he's got all these pro MMA fighter friends that he would train with, Kevin Novacek and, all these guys who I would see come in early morning at UFC Gym Oaklawn when I would open the gym at 5 a.m. driving an hour and fucking hour 15, bro. I was working my fucking ass off just to buy that wedding ring for wifey over there.
Holy shit.
So, I would see them come in and grind. The work ethic's insane. That's where the cardio comes from. It's like cardio on cardio. Like Chael Sonnen calls it shape on shape. You're already in shape, and then you do the training camp. It's shape on shape. Well, Bilal's been putting shape on shape for 2 decades, and it's working for him. I think he could, apply that grind to an Ian Machado Garry. So I like the fight. How dare they make it 3 rounds? It puts it more up in the air for sure.
Let's go. Frank Bryan, thank you for 199. He says Garry by KO.
Who the fuck is Garry KOing, dog? Who the fuck? Who the fuck is Garry KOing, mate?
Let's go. I'm going Garry decision. That's the side that I'll ride on here over below. I'm looking forward to the fight. Element of this fight, too, is a lot of size. Like, Ian Garry's 6'3". He's fucking tall as hell in this damn welterweight division. He doesn't have the longest hips, so doesn't have the longest wingspan. Yeah, I'm excited. Listen, I'm excited for it. I think they should do a measurement of armpit to end of the fist, because I think some of these guys are fucking narrow. So they don't necessarily have the wingspan, but they have the arm reach. Back HBO Boxing used to do that, and I always really enjoyed that. I think that I'd like to see that stat, because I think Ian Machado Garry actually has long arms. He just has like kind of a narrow frame, so he doesn't have necessarily the wingspan. But I think from distance, that's why it looked pretty good against Carlos Prates. Last time Finch sounded this confident was Chuck Buffalo. Oh shit, PDX Hoya, thank you for $9.99.
You mean Chuck fucking Buffalo? Is that who you mean, dog? Come on, son. Come on, son. My wife's like, we got to clean out the mugs. I have a Chuck Buffalo mug with the fucking finger on the back. She's like, you got to throw it out. I'm like, baby, that's
Finch, send me that mug, bro.
I'll send it to AJ. I'll send it to AJ for Christmas. I got you.
Listen, at least I'll hold it down with pride for you, At least it'll still be here. You'll see it every Monday. I'll make sure to show it to you. I'll keep it clean. I won't drink out of it.
Better than wifey throwing it out. So thank you, dog. Thank you,
go.
PDX.
Thank you, brother, man.
PDX. Let's go.
Let's go. We got one more fight. The main event of the evening. If you guys haven't hit the like button yet, make sure you smash it. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Arman Tsarukyan versus Dan Hooker. I am picking Arman Tsarukyan to win. And he's been doing some grappling matches lately. I actually really think the path of least resistance is to grapple Dan Hooker up. And I think Arman Tsarukyan's high caliber wrestling is going to be a factor. Not that he can't strike with Dan Hooker. Arman Tsarukyan's actually got some pretty whipping kicks. He's got crazy dexterity. He's throwing axe kicks out there. And he's got some sharp hands. He's got power in his punches for sure. But definitely a tactical sniper-style kickboxing game with a high-level wrestling skill set. The takedown threat is real in this matchup. And Dan Hooker's a good kickboxer from distance. He's got some nice body kicks and teeps, and he's got some pop on his straights. But on his back, none of that matters. I really think Arman Tsarukyan landing takedowns is highly likely here. I mean, Dan Hooker, if you look at the recent wins, right? Split decision with Mateusz Gamrot. He was caught early in that fight by Mateusz. And you might be saying, oh, but he dealt with Mateusz, who's a wrestler. Yeah, but Mateusz Gamrot, he has takedowns, but he doesn't really have top control or submissions. Tsarukyan actually has like good fundamental grappling when he gets on top. I could see Arman Tsarukyan smashing Dan Hooker with elbows from top position into the back take, into the rear naked strangle. I'm going Arman Tsarukyan rear naked strangle here. I think he's choking Dan Hooker out, and I think we got a pretty impressive W coming for Tsarukyan. He should be able to shut Hooker down here. I like Tsarukyan's sub, especially 3 straight grappling match wins for him. I think that's a little element of the game that he could show out here, is that jiu-jitsu skill set.
And it's sharper than ever. Like, make no mistake, Arman Tsarukyan is sharper than ever. Arman Tsarukyan was getting ready for that title fight with Islam Makhachev, and we were talking about that one like it's a toss-up. And look what's happened in the meantime. Mr. Back injury, he's always taking pictures on Ferraris and Bugattis and shit. And Islam's out here, #1 pound for pound, double champ. So this is really a big deal for Arman Tsarukyan. He needs to get right back in the mix. He needs to make a statement here. And this is not Mateusz Gamrot, who keeps wrestling and allowed Dan Hooker up to the feet and to Dan Hooker to eke out that decision. This is the guy who lost to Mateusz Gamrot. This is Arman Tsarukyan. Arman Tsarukyan has been able to really show some fucking power and talent on the feet, and his wrestling is tremendous. You know, in that first Islam Makhachev fight, he was neck and neck with Islam. I mean, it was really some competitive grappling exchanges. The most wicked takedown in that fight that's played over and over again was Islam Makhachev cheating. Islam Makhachev has this tactic where he hooks the inside of your glove, and he'll throw you with it. And he did that brilliantly to Arman Tsarukyan. Arman Tsarukyan still scrambled out of that rat's nest. And so, you know, Arman Tsarukyan's wrestling is just so much better than Dan Hooker's. Now, Dan Hooker has good defensive wrestling. It's kind of like a Israel Adesanya level. Like, yeah, we're gonna contest these positions on the fence and you know, have some good basics to go to. You know, he's not looking for hands like that Cage Warriors kid I was watching today. You know, he knows what he's doing, but he's just it's a physicality thing. Like these wrestlers who are lifelong wrestlers, they can just get this guy down. You can just rip his legs out, stack him, and eventually he'll wear down. You know, Dan Hooker is tough as fuck. Have you been seeing the fucking the fist fights organization he's got? Have you seen his fights?
1 minute fights. Yeah.
1 minute, just balls to the wall, you know, put something on for TikTok. And it's fun shit. That's kind of the fighter. He's that scrappy, hey, I'm already a couple drinks in, but I'll fight this guy at the bar type of dude, you know?
Yes.
He's a black eye wearing gunslinger. And so it'll keep him in any fight. You know, any fight he's in, he's going to be dangerous. I don't think that's enough against an Arman Tsarukyan in 2025. The only real reservation I have about Arman Tsarukyan here is like the rust and injury shit. You know, it's hard to gauge where that is. Everybody remembers why the Islam Makhachev fight didn't happen, because he had his lower back issues. And as somebody who's had some fucking lower back pain, I've had to battle through. I'm like 100%, thank God. But I've had lower back injuries ever since I heard it in wrestling in high school. It sucks. Lower back injuries are debilitating to your whole fucking body. Anything you fucking do requires your lower back. So it's a tough injury to get over. But I'm going to take it as a good thing that he stayed out for a while. I'm going to take it as a good thing that this is his first fight back. Cause I'll tell you what, AJ, as soon as he pulled out of that Islam fight, I'm like, man, he's got to have bed rest for months. It was like fucking 12 days later. I'm on my phone and I see he's over at Ruka, or was it Ruka, or was this gym over in Newport, Santos or something, training like 2 weeks after he pulled out of the Islam Makhachev fight. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? You know, was it not that bad? So there's a lot of question marks around it. What there's not a lot of question marks around is the fact that his wrestling is elite. His boxing is very powerful. He's fast. He's got talent. He's the one who should be challenging for the lightweight title, not a Dan Hooker who is, you know, sort of a god tier gatekeeper, and a veteran at this point. Let's go with Arman Tsarukyan. You know, if Michael Chandler, who in his prime, is able to knock Dan Hooker out, I think in 2025, Arman Tsarukyan in his prime is going to be able to do the same. Arman Tsarukyan inside distance.
Let's go. Arman Tsarukyan inside distance. It's at -140, but obviously the money line very wide at -500. Now, if you're thinking maybe the submission skills are showcased, it's +350 for the sub. The KO sits at +155. I think the sub is really live. I really feel like Arman Tsarukyan is going to have a showcase performance. And I'm going to go out and say this. If he wins this fight, I mean, the obvious fight is him and Ilia Topuria. Now, there's rumors of a Gaethje fight or a Paddy Pimblett fight. No, Arman Tsarukyan will be the most deserving guy. He's on a nice win streak. He was supposed to fight Islam Makhachev, and I would be very intrigued by an Arman Tsarukyan-Ilia Topuria fight as well. Has the win over Charles Oliveira, albeit controversial or not, got the split decision nod. and, you know, made it close against Charles Oliveira, who still looks to be world class. I mean, look at the way he ran through Gamrot. I like the damn Tsarukyan win into a title fight. I don't know if that's going to be next. We're in a weird spot where, you know, there's a chance that Gaethje or Paddy Pimblett get it instead, and that would be a big debut on Paramount. So the UFC, you know, probably leaning towards that, but Tsarukyan would be next up. And I would love to see Tsarukyan versus Ilia Topuria. That's such a high-level fight.
That's it.
If Dan Hooker finds a way to win, though, put him in the title shot for sure. Dan Hooker's got the hype on him, but I just don't think he does. You know, he's got split decision win over Jalen Turner, split decision win over Gamrot. He got the Claudio Puelles win where he's nearly knee barred too in that fight. You know, Dan Hooker's a fun style, and he's got aura. He's got the tats now. He's got a good personality. He sells. He's got a big fan base, but we got to keep it real here. I mean, Arman Tsarukyan should be levels above. This should be a one-way traffic fight, and Tsarukyan should sub him up. I think Tsarukyan really should run him over.
PDX Hoya, this one of our two sponsors of the show, says I disrespected Dan Hooker by calling him a gatekeeper. Brother, what else can I call 24-12? Like, what is 24-12? What do you call someone who lost to Dustin Poirier, Michael Chandler, Islam Makhachev, Arnold Allen, and who's last and after there's a one Nasrat Haqparast win in between all those losses, and then his last three, Claudio Puelles. Do I need to say more? Split decision with Jalen Turner, split decision with Mateusz Gamrot, 2 split decisions, you know? This is not a guy who's going to see a title shot in his UFC career. So I don't know what the definition of gatekeeper is, but it can't be too far from that. I did preface it with God tier gatekeeper. I mean, he is a talent. He's fun to watch. You can almost count me a fan, you know? But when I'm looking at a guy who already was granted the title shot, a guy who has, as AJ said, improving submission game, real power on the feet, real chance to be the champ, I got to make the distinction between the two. This is Arman Tsarukyan's fight.
Let's go. Finchman and I both going Tsarukyan. He should go out and handle. You got any final notes on this main event, Mike Finch?
It's fun, man. I'm glad to see Arman Tsarukyan back. You know, it's been a minute for Dan Hooker and Arman. Dan Hooker last fought in August of 2024. He had some fucked up hand that he got taken care of. And then you guys know about the back. April of 2024 with the Charles Oliveira fight for Arman Tsarukyan. He was booked in January of this year for the Islam Makhachev fight. Here we are. In November, seeing him back. So again, I just think that I'm gonna say it's a good thing. I'm gonna say, hey, he took care of that back. That video I saw him training 2 weeks after he pulled out of the fight, that was AI, dog. It was early AI. It didn't really happen, and that he actually did take care of his back properly. He's gonna come in full speed, and if we got an uninjured, you know, fresh Arman Tsarukyan, I think he puts Dan Hooker out.
Let's go. Finchman and I both going for the Tsarukyan finish side to handle business, get back on track, and get himself a world title fight. But we're not done yet. It's time for the parlay.
All the competition that try to compete, stand back, watch the bomb drop.
Parlay time. Open up
Make
your
it juicy.
wallets and let's bet on some fist fights.
Yeah, parlay time. AJ had coffee before this. I can see that shit's wearing off tonight. Yeah, AJ, stay awake for us. Come on, dog. It's the fucking parlay time, homie. Let's fucking go, AJ. Listen, man. I didn't have one ready. I'm coming off the top. This is a freestyle. It's been a while, and I'm gonna go with walking up this thing, bro. Fuck these prelims. I don't want to fade Ryan Loder. I hope he could fucking win this thing. I don't want to fade Bexot, especially because the odds are so close in that one. Fuck a parlay on that one, right? I'm up on the main card here, and I want to do something AJ and I agree on as well. So let's go with Volkan Oezdemir over Alonzo Menifield. I do think Volkan Oezdemir is just too fucking experienced and is going to be able to avoid the power of Alonzo Menifield. And as soon as he starts getting this thing going downhill, he should be able to put away Alonzo Menifield, who's probably got a little bit of hype after, you know, a pretty big fucking upset, but he's going to run into a real vet of the division. Let's go Volkan Oezdemir, leg 1.
Call me chicken shit. We'll go leg 2, Hermansson Tsarukyan, minus 139 for the money line lock. That should be a golden hit, bro. I really don't see that thing missing. And yeah, I'm excited for the parlays this week. Of course, I'm going to find you guys a plus money lock tomorrow for this week's best MMA bets. But for today, I think Oezdemir and Tsarukyan at minus 139 is actually really good odds. And I think it's high likelihood to come through. I'm with the Finch. I like the calls. We're lined up, Mike Finch. We're ready to rock, bro.
We're ready to rock it, homie. Listen, there's going to be a break on Thanksgiving week. So I'm doing the Black Friday sale early. $1 to come over to Premium Channel. I got some stuff cooking here for y'all. We'll make sure the video's fun. All right. DM at Mike Finch Show on Instagram to see my favorite bets for UFC Qatar for $1.
Let's go. Shout out to the Finch, man. Go give him a subscribe. Go give him a listen. I think he's going live after this. Is that true?
Right fucking now. I'm ready to rock. Give me 10 minutes and we'll be live.
Let's go. Finchman will be live in 10, guys. Go click the link. I pinned it in the chat. Go follow the Finch. He'll be live here soon with Most Confident Picks. We love you guys. Thank you for tuning in for this 2-hour, 42-minute Moneyline show. We're going.
That's why AJ's fucking falling asleep here. God damn. All right. Let's fucking go. Hey, I had fun today, AJ. I talked a lot of shit today. I think I pissed some people off in the chat. I'm not sorry.
Fuck it. Savage mode, Finch. We love to see it. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you all in the next one. I'll be live for lunch tomorrow. Then I got this week's best MMA bets in the evening. And Finch, man, bringing the thunder here in 10 minutes. So go check them out. Bye, guys.